Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage. Untitled to ramble on about something everyone knows. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. You just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly. My love is a fever, longing till for that which longer nurseth the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I do not love thee. With mine eyes they thee 1,000 errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. Who, in despite of you, are pleased to go. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Angelad at Tanagra. Darmok Angelad at Tanagra. Darmok Angelad at Tanagra. Darmok Angelad at Tanagra. I am Locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am Locutus aboard. You aboard. I am Locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am Locutus aboard. Locutus aboard. Block phases on that vessel. I am Locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly. My love is a fever, longing till for that which longer nurses the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I do not love thee. With mine eyes they be 1,000 errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. Who, in despite of you, are pleased to know. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? To my questions. I am locutus aboard. You are bored. I am locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am locutus aboard. You are bored. I am locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. Just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic, moving from topic to topic, quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving.
I'm not dressed properly.
My love is a fever longing till for that.
Well, hello. I am back. If you saw the stream on Monday, it was only a half hour long and it was in the car. But we had a good Monday. It's too hot for this. It's time to take it off. Exposing the pie. And we're here. Hello, welcome. So, yeah, on Monday, I went to this New Jersey Motorsports Park. Hey, Mom. My biggest fan. That was a burp that I muted, so you didn't have to hear it. So, yeah, New Jersey Motorsports Park. My fiance's father rides motorcycles. Oh, you know what? I could actually show a clip from it for the stream. Let's figure that out. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So I went to the Motorsports Park on Monday, brought the camera, and just wanted to get some shots of the future father-in-law. See if I can get in here and find the clip. And yeah, I did get a good one, which is cool. So let me pull that up so you can see it. Because I did say I was going to like show it on the stream Wednesday if I did. So let me pull it up here. Really quickly, let's go over to this. Oop, got to turn that off. And make this big. I'm just going to stay here. Screw you guys. So that's her father right there. And this is a shot we got on Monday. Not the best shot. I definitely got cleaner shots. Like you could see, this is good. This is good. But this is all good. But then right there, ducks down a bit, and then he's leading the frame. And oh no, can't keep him centered. The head gets chopped off a little bit. So it wasn't the cleanest shot, the cleanest pan. But I mean, you do get a sense of the speed, and I mean, it is pretty cool. I mean, that's her dad. It's a beautiful bike too. Look at the motion blur of the background. Looks really sick. Yeah. I definitely got cleaner shots of other bikers. This might be the cleanest pan of him. But I don't know. So let's go back here. Yeah, so that's what we did on Monday. I got, a lot of footage. I haven't gone through it all. I basically wanted to just go through. I was just going through really quick to find something to show him, and I posted it on my Instagram and stuff like that. Maybe I'll post it on my company's Instagram as well. But last week, where we last left off, was I was finishing up the episode of Us Damnit, where I am talking to our friend Rita, who's an assistant director. So that's probably what I'm just gonna like hop into. I think I'm going to keep this just a normal 2-hour stream, depending on what we get to. Maybe even a little bit shorter for today, just because I've got a lot of other stuff going on, and I want to get to that as well. So yeah, let me see. I kind of 1 second here. Move this back over to this screen. So yeah, so we're just gonna get into it. We're also streaming on Twitch as well right now, which is great. Got 2 viewers over there. Hey Twitch, so I stream on my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, we're gonna get into the editing like right away. It's gonna be, we'll see. So let's just hop in right now. So here we are. So here is the edit. It's basically, the edit is done. Basically, where are we at? We are at 37 minutes and 8 seconds and 12 frames, as you can see here. For an interview show, I mean, that's not so bad. I think it's a very informative 37 minutes. So what we did last week was I put a compressor on all 3 tracks. It may look like there's 6, but it's 2 per person. It's me, Rita, and Cody. And I put a compressor on it So that sounded good. That took a little while and a little bit of a zhuzhing, but that's done. So now basically I made it all the way to the end, and I think the last thing to do really is to watch it all. So we're going to have to sit here for 37 minutes and 8 seconds while we go through it, watch it, and, you know, see if there's any really like glaring mistakes. I think as I go through it, there are probably going to be things that I would love to fix or would like to fix, but unless it's like really glaring mistake, like something goes out of sync or, you know, something I can see to easily fix, unless it's those things, I'm just going to like move past it because it's not going to be perfect. Pardon me while I hang on a sec. I had something in my throat there. So that's what we're going to do. And then once we get to the end, after making any edits that we might need to make, I got to think about what to do for the outro, but we'll get that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm going to put this screen back on so it's a little bit easier for you all to see. I can reach up there, yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to get right into it, and we're going to go through and we're going to QC, which is quality check. We're going to quality check the edit. So here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So
that, Mike Nelson. Hi, appreciate your videos. I'm a video production teacher in need of help. Thanks for your efforts here. Hey, Mike, thanks for tuning in. What do you need help with? Is there anything specifically that you need help with? I definitely just commented on some... I just replied to a comment on the YouTube today. I don't remember who it was. It was somebody else. It was not you, Mr. Nelson. But thanks for tuning in and watching. Yeah, let me know. We're gonna... Don't mind intro. Just about everything. Projects, editing, etc. Well, I do think setting... Do you edit in Premiere, Mike? I do think setting up a project is extremely important, but unfortunately right now I'm at the end of a project. So right now I'm kind of doing like what the finalizing of a project is. But there are more episodes of this show to be edited. So I do think a very important part of editing is setting up the project correctly. Because if you don't, it can be confusing and you can not know what's going on and your media can get mismatched and the settings can be wrong. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. All the previous streams, if you go to this link below me right here, youtube.com/rethinkfilms, all of the full live streams are live there. Not all of them are editing. A few are. Most of them are, but a few aren't. But just stick with me. I stream every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I edit. I'm going to be editing. You could also follow on Twitch as well. If you have any specific questions about anything, please, I have the chat up. You can ask me. But in the meantime, we're gonna watch this. Now you might see skips and stuff. Skips and audio glitches while I watch this. That's because the computer is working hard to stream to and also editing. So it's doing kind of double duty. As time goes on, I'll probably end up having some sort of like better way to do this so it's not so brutal, or just getting a more advanced computer. Mike Nelson, I am heading there right after you are through today. No specific questions yet. Okay. But feel free, if something comes up as you watch and you want to know anything, let me know. You're a video production teacher. How are you a teacher if you need a lot of help? Did you fall into the gig? That's fine if so. But that's cool. Well, I'm here to help. That's what this channel's for. So I'm editing in Adobe Premiere right now. I've got 3 tracks. We've got a wide shot here, and we've got 2 other shots. You'll see. Just fell into it. Cool. Well, good luck. Well, I'm here. I'm here to help. So as we watch, feel free to ask any questions. This show is a show that me and my business partner, Cody, right here, filmed like 2 years ago. But my company's work this is all just ourselves doing it like an original project. But our work picked up with our company, clients got picked up, and the editing is just way too much for me to do on my own time. So this whole stream is kind of an excuse to like start editing these again, turning the editing of it into content. Kind of like a feed two birds with one scone type thing. Hey, Cody's here. There he is. Speak of the devil. This guy right there, that's Cody. He's in the chat. Hey, man, what's going on? Is the chat coming up on the screen? It should be. The chat should be coming up over here. Over there somewhere. It should be popping up. I don't know why I don't see it anywhere. Let me test it. Hang on. Test. Boom. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, cool. I was just been missing it. Okay, cool. That's good. Well, anyway, we're going to hop in. Cody, I'm the edit's done, basically. Whoops. The edit is basically done. I'm just kind of QCing it right now. It's 37 minutes, so I got to watch it from the beginning, go through it, 37 minutes, and I'm basically just going to cut out any glaring mistakes. But there are probably going to be some edits that I wish I could fix or wish I could do something about, but I feel like I've mostly done all the things I can do at this point. So that's cool. There's a dude named Mike in the chat who is learning, and that's great. So here we go. Without further ado, we are going to watch this, and we are going to sit through it, make sure it looks good, cut out or fix any mistakes, and then once we get to the end, figure out what I want to do for the outro. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll think about it once we get there. Here we go. Once again, if it skips a little bit, that's actually not an editing problem. That's a computer processing problem because I'm streaming at the same time. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So we are here with
Rita Warkov.
And Rita, what do you do?
I'm a first assistant director.
Woo! Yeah! I'm interested to hear what she has to say. Let's get started.
I'm Steve,
I'm Cody,
and we're Rethink Films.
a creative video production company based in New York City.
We're interviewing people from all over the film industry to squeeze out of them the juicy details on how they got to where they are. There's no glossing over the facts here.
You yada over the best part!
This is Tell Us, Damn It!
Maybe I can turn the waveforms off, and that might help with the playback. Turn the waveforms off. It might also help if I change the quality of the playback to half. That might help. Let's see what happens. Let's watch that intro again.
Hey, let's get started.
I'm Steve,
I'm Cody,
and we're Rethink Films.
a creative video production company based in New York City.
We're interviewing people from all over the film industry to squeeze out of them the juicy details on how they got to where they are. There's no glossing over the facts here.
You yada over the best part!
This is Tell Us, Damn It!
First assistant director.
Yeah, that's me.
Sounds very formal. Sounds awesome. First
is.
assistant. You're not the second assistant director.
Sometimes I am.
Okay.
But
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, they're both great jobs. I do both. But
Well,
yeah.
I guess for someone who's not really too familiar with the film.
Well, there's a jump cut. Let me see if I can fix that. Once again, I apologize for the skipping. At some point in the future, I'll have an amazingly fast computer that can handle this stuff.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, they're both great jobs. I do both. But
Well, I guess for someone.
I think what I'll do is I'll probably just enable this one. Come on, baby. I feel like it's skipping more since it's at half. I'm going to put it back to full, but I do think that turning the audio waveforms off was a good idea. We'll see. I'll keep experimenting.
sometimes I am.
Okay.
Oh, no, no. Okay.
But
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Wow, it is really brutal.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, they're both great jobs. I do both. But
Well, I guess for someone who's not really too familiar with the film industry, they're maybe in film school saying like, I want to be a director. What is an assistant director? You know, is there always an assistant director on set? Is that a standard thing? Like, what can you
And
say?
how many of them are there? Because obviously there's first, second,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, is
forth.
there a
Sometimes
third,
you
fourth?
have a second. You never have a third assistant director. you have a second assistant director.
See, I didn't
Is
even
that
know
just like one of those things?
It's just one of those things. Personally, I wish that we could be best boy ADs. Well, the good news is that you don't have to say first assistant director or second assistant director. More often they're referred to as first AD or second AD. And the AD department on set is basically in charge of running the logistical side of the shoot, so the director
Agreed.
can focus on the creative. So the first AD is responsible for breaking down however many shoot days you have allotted based on the script or the storyboards, or in the commercial world, sometimes you don't even have that.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, like I worked on a music video once where the creative was a text message.
This is the kind of knowledge we're hoping to get on this show.
That's a win.
So ideally at the beginning of a job, the AD has a script or storyboards available to them, maybe even a shot list if you're lucky, and then it's your responsibility to break up the order of shooting based on location restraints, talent schedules, crew hours,
So you determine...
union hours. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
and
there's a
then
lot of moving parts there.
there are so many moving parts. So basically, before we even roll camera, it's the AD's job to make a plan.
Do you ever get a chance to make a plan before the day starts, or is that?
Oh, that's how I like to work. That's how. Ideally, the AD is part of the scout, and then you either later in the day, which is they usually try to jam it into one day,
Yeah.
or you have a separate prep day to really sit down with the producer and the director and get all the relevant information that you need to build the schedule. And I work with union and non-union crews, and union and non-union on-camera talent.
So, I mean, that's even like a little section right there. Like, there's a union that actors can be in.
Yes.
There's two, right? There's two that I know of, SAG and AFTRA, right?
Yeah, but they've melded.
Oh, so now SAG AFTRA.
Yeah,
Okay.
SAG-AFTRA.
I might
Yeah.
cut that out. I want to make myself.
No, that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. You
It's
know,
a learning experience.
because you do see that on like paperwork, SAG
Yeah.
AFTRA. If you're an actor or any kind of talent, I suppose, that's in this union, they have different rules that apply to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they need to make sure that after a certain amount of time, they have to take their lunch break.
Not for just for on-camera talent, but for crew too. A big part of my job is also, fitting in meal breaks, you know, making sure that we wrap in a reasonable amount of time. It's a big deal because film crews work every day, sometimes on multiple jobs per week, and you know, you really have to be respectful of like not working people too hard.
How do you come to learn these rules, these union rules? Is it just osmosis, like you find out, or is there like a...
Mentorship is a big deal in the industry, and especially in my department. I've learned so much from the first ADs who mentored me when I was a set PA or a second AD. I mean, that's really how at least I came up, and how so many people come up is through mentorship.
I definitely want to talk about how you got there and the mentorship
Yeah.
and getting there and starting and getting there. But
totally.
I'd love to keep delving into just the nuts and bolts of what it is to be.
You asked me about like, you know, how often there's a first AD, a second AD, a second AD on the job. And it all depends on how big the job is and how many moving parts there are. Oftentimes, shoots don't have first ADs because, you know, for whatever reason, the budget, or maybe it's like a really simple, straightforward shoot.
So if there's no first AD, there's only a second AD?
No,
Because
no.
you have to have a first if you're going to have the second.
Yeah.
There
So when
just
you-
wouldn't be any AD
Yeah.
on it?
So then you just don't work that job.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I honestly, I would say that ADs get cut from jobs the quickest.
Wow.
You know, the AD is basically there to make sure that the production doesn't lose a ton of money at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
Because that's what it always comes down to is, you know, you can have a plan, but if everyone goes into overtime on your dime, like there's your budget.
That's without an AD. That's why you
Exactly.
have it.
Exactly.
So then if you fail, then it's going to be...
Oh yeah, I that's why I don't fail.
Yeah. Booyah.
Because I'm trying to get hired.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If you could think of an analogy to what your job entails to some other industry, I'm trying to think of one too.
I mean, we're the voice in the room Like, it's the director's vision, and everyone is working towards the director's ultimate goal, or at least that's how it's supposed to be. The voice in the room guiding everything that's happening, and the person who knows exactly what's happening next and who can inform all of the departments where and when they need to be in a certain place, that's the AD.
That's cool.
If I had to compare it to sports, I guess it would be quarterback. We're
Yes.
we're literally calling rolls and cuts.
Yeah.
We are constantly, communication, I would say, is really the biggest part of my job.
That's cool.
If I'm doing my job correctly, everyone knows what's going on in a very complicated situation in a very busy day. On a certain day, I field hundreds of questions, just hundreds of questions from every single person on set.
How many of those hundreds of questions are the same question?
I could make you a top 5 list.
Let's hear it. Let's hear a top 5.
Okay. When's camera wrap?
Okay. Nice.
Do you think we'll go over?
Yep.
When's lunch?
Classic.
Are we rolling right now?
What's your first, before we go on, what's your answer to that one usually, like, in your head that you want to say, like, did I say rolling? Or something, like, what's the answer?
Yeah, there's a lot of self-censorship that happens.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
My default is always to be polite and
Of course,
informative.
yeah.
That's weird. It sounds like, I hear Cody say, "Oh my God," but it doesn't look like he's saying it right there, which is weird. Oh, it's auto-saving. Let me double check that.
Yep.
When's lunch?
I want to say, like, did I say rolling? Or something, like, what's the answer?
Yeah, there's a lot of self-censorship that happens.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it did. Okay.
Happens.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
My default
Yeah. Okay. I just thought I was seeing something.
is always to be polite and
Of course,
informative.
yeah. We can get into that, too.
Yeah, that's the only way things get done.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what's number 5?
Number 5 would probably be where's the bathroom?
Nice.
And that's when I get a little attitude. I'm like, without even looking up, I can be like, look at the sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Like I had PAs put up signs, just look around.
Arrows like leading to
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that part of your description too? You make sure those signs are where they need to be? Like,
No, not really. I mean, it depends on the job. If it's a union job, the locations department is responsible for that. If it's not, it's usually on production and the PAs.
that's so cool.
To deal with that stuff.
That's so cool. What's the difference between an assistant director and, like, a production manager?
Oh, okay. So the production manager is responsible for the budget. I don't negotiate anyone's rates.
I see.
I don't decide what anyone is paid. I don't pay anybody.
I see.
So while I'm responsible for protecting the budget, it's not my budget. I don't touch the numbers. I don't play with them.
I see.
So I do work very closely with the production manager to alert them, so this happened, so we're probably going to have to buy a meal penalty because we can't break for another 15 minutes.
Meal penalty
just so
is
you know.
when a rule set by the union is broken, like they're supposed to break now, but circumstances call
Something
that they need to do
happened.
another take or
Right. You can ask the crew for grace. You can ask all the heads of departments, hey guys, can we just keep working for 15 minutes? Or you buy a meal penalty. And so
Is there someone from the union that's there on set, to make sure that you guys are following the rules?
No.
Interesting.
It's basically up to individual members.
And I guess the person in the union could always report it to somebody if there's
Exactly.
a problem.
Yeah. So
sense.
people reach out to their reps if they feel like something is going wrong. Or on bigger productions like movies, you have someone called the shop steward.
Cool.
Which is basically a designated member of the crew who is the representative.
I see.
As a director, I can't emphasize how wonderful it is to have an AD, especially one like Rita on set,
going.
because it's like, even if it is a much smaller shoot and that we're still sharing like some of the responsibilities, like ideally, like you said, the director would just be creative
Right.
and potentially actors, and that is like all they have to think about.
Right.
Just to have that person to lean on, it's like really, it's really helpful.
I love
It really
working
is.
with you. Thank you.
But it's
Oh
very
my
true.
God,
It's
guys,
very true. It's
this
like
is-
until you like work with like an AD in general, and especially
Yeah.
someone that's good at what they do. It's like,
I do meet a lot of directors who have never worked with an AD before. And
Yeah.
they can be nervous and they think an AD is there to just yell at everyone and step,
that's another thing that
step
we
on
should-
people's toes.
Yeah.
ADs have a bad reputation for being yelly.
that is part of the job, right?
Yeah.
Like you could obviously take it overboard.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And a lot of people do.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do. It's like this stereotype of first ADs, they just age real quick and die real young because they're like so stressed all the time.
Oh my God.
Because it's a lot of pressure, you know. Like I said, you're the point person for the whole shoot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have adequate prep. Sometimes you don't even get that. So, especially as a commercial AD, I have to have the wherewithal and the skills to basically be dropped into pretty much any situation and be able to run the crew,
Yeah.
run the set, get it done in time, and make sure the director is happy with what they've achieved on screen.
And how do you deal personally with that pressure?
Well, thankfully, I have found this profession that allows me to work the way that is best for me. So it took me a long time to figure out that this job was something that was good for me because I started in office production in more of a traditional 9-to-5 job, and it wasn't for me. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at sitting at a desk all day. In fact, I would say that I was bad at it. And I don't like being bad at things. As it turns out, the pressure is really something that I thrive under. And so, as sick as it is, like, turns out I do my best work under pressure. And I just have to tell myself that even when it's the most frustrating, even when I'm the most exhausted, it's over when we call a camera wrap for me.
Has there ever been a time where you got home and you were like, that was a good day? And if so, what happened in that day?
Honestly, most days.
That's
I get
awesome.
home. Unless I've, like, made a mistake that I thought
Okay, obviously, for some reason, while I was editing this, I muted or just completely deleted the other tracks, and it sounds a lot better with those missing. But the problem is, I do not want to do the work of. One second, hang on. That's strange. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I do not want to do the work of going in and muting everyone who's not talking. Yet this sounds a little drastic to me. So, like, I could leave it. So I guess really quickly, I'm just going to see what happens if I bring it back and just leave it there. So for now, I'm just going to do the waveforms again. And it looks to me like these here are should be synced up with these. So unless I'm mistaken, I should be able to just pull this back and this back too. And it should look the same. I'm going to look at the waveforms just to make sure. Yeah, you can see. Okay, these two, this one and this one, those are the ones that I pulled back. They look identical. And they also match. I mean, this is a little bit more weird looking. It's a little bit more stretched because it's louder. But you can see that, like, 1, 2, 3, that's here, but lower, which is what it should be. So it looking like it's matching. And they have the filters on them because I put the filters on everything on that track. So, and I see this here too. So I'm just going to do that and see how it sounds. But I'm going to back up, like, at least a few seconds just to get my ears used to how it was sounding. So let's listen to that.
as it turns out, the pressure is really something that I thrive under. And so, as sick as it is, like, turns out I do my best work under pressure. And I just have to tell myself that even when it's the most frustrating, even when I'm the most exhausted, it's over when we call a camera wrap for me.
Has there ever been a time where you got home and you were like, that was a good day? And if so, what happened in that day?
Honestly, most days.
That's
I
awesome.
get home. Unless I've, like, made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, while I was editing, I deleted those. I don't know what I was thinking. It was probably like 2 years ago when I made that edit, and it's only now that I'm resurrecting it. So, obviously, if I was going for, like, the most pristine anytime someone is talking, the other 2 tracks are muted. But if there's a way to do that quickly, I don't know, because I'm not really an audio engineer. And number 2, it to do it manually would take forever. Or it would at least take like another 6 hours or so, maybe. I don't know. And I'm not doing that. And it sounds good enough. I spent a good amount of time on the audio levels last week. So I'm happy with that. And this is why we're watching it all again, because that part stuck out to me and it needed to be fixed. So this is what we're doing. We're doing like a polishing thing. I'm trying to sell a AC on this app, and someone's hitting me up about it. So I got someone on the hook, and I'm trying to reel them in. So I don't know why. Of course, it's not. Of course, my thing is stuck now. So let's just keep playing. I'll back it up a bit.
More of a traditional 9-to-5 job, and it wasn't for me. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at sitting at a desk all day. In fact, I would say that I was bad at it. And I don't like being bad at things. As it turns out, the pressure is really something that I thrive under. And so, as sick as it is, turns out I do my best work under pressure. And I just have to tell myself that even when it's the most frustrating, even when I'm the most exhausted, it's over when we call a camera wrap for me.
Has there ever been a time where you got home and you're like, that was a good day? And if so...
Mike says, just subscribe to your Rethink Films channel. Great. Yeah. All the replays are being posted there. I post little nuggets here, but the full replays are there. And I dropped an email to your website. Oh, cool. You sent an email to us. That's great. I'll definitely check it out. I love what you are doing here and appreciate you reaching out to help. I'll be tuning in again. Have a great day. Oh, well, see you next time, Mike. It was great that you came. Yeah, definitely come hang out live. Watching live is great because I can answer you directly, and I can even demonstrate stuff. So being here live is awesome. But if it's hard for you to tune in live, then yeah, the replays are over right here, youtube.com/rethinkfilms. And you could always go to our website too, rethink-films.com. I have to sneeze. Oh boy. Oh boy. I went away. Oh, I hate that. Anyway. Okay, it went away. But anyway, thanks. Thanks, Mike. Hope to see you again. Okay, let's get back to it.
And if so, what happened in that day?
Honestly, most days.
That's awesome.
I get home. Unless I've made a mistake that I thought was really embarrassing. Because you do make mistakes all the time. And something that a mentor of mine told me was to apologize once and move on. Don't get caught up in it. You just learn and you don't do it again.
Yeah.
And this has taken me years to figure out because I did start out as a very sensitive snowflake who couldn't take criticism. I think we all deal with that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
The first couple of years of my work life was someone said something harsh to me, I may never recover.
Bye. If it's day of, right?
Exactly.
I forgot about that. Also, the levels are peaking, but once again, I'm not really going for perfection. I'm going for you can hear it, and so it's a little loud. Most people watch this on their phone, so whatever. I'm really not too concerned with the over modulation too much. It sounds okay. I forgot about that code.
Bye. Especially if it's day of, right?
Exactly.
And even early on the day, that could potentially
be
just
so embarrassing.
paint your whole day in a negative way.
So even if it's a day where I know that I fucked up, even so, I really do try to be well, I'm never gonna do that again.
Yeah.
That's great. This is great.
That wasn't a screw up, was it?
Yeah.
That's great. This is great stuff.
That's very cool.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, what the most common misconception.
Boulevard Bullies, hosting the stream on Twitch. Always a pal. Always doing the hosting. And usually when you do, my man, I get a good at least 4 or 5 more viewers on Twitch. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Got another person on this Let Go app looking at my AC. Maybe I'll just update you guys with the AC selling stuff. Looking and sounding great. Yeah, looking and sounding great. That's what both Cody and Patrick say. That's amazing. Let's see what this guy says. Rookie from Let Go. I use this app called Let Go to try to sell this AC. They say, is it still available? Hi. Hi, Rookie. Don't say Ricky. Yes, it is. Send. We'll see if I can get my AC sold. Tell us about the AC. So, yeah, I will. I will tell you about the AC. So check this out. See if I can go to the listing. So here's the AC. It's a portable AC. Of course, there's going to be like all the reflection happening. All right, we're taking a break. We're taking a timeout for the AC here. So there's the AC. There's a shot of it working. That's the back of it. So all the information, the model and all that stuff, the BTUs. But then here's the cool part. I modified it. So this part right here is an added receptacle for a secondary hose. So there are both hoses. This is the stock hose right there that I insulated. And this is the other hose right here. Yeah. So I'm selling it as is. And it says that I can remove that if they don't want that. You know, I said like if efficiency scares you, I can remove it. But basically, if you didn't know, the way these ACs work is ridiculous. They're stupid. So like if this wasn't here or if you didn't have a hose on it, this is taking in air from the room that you've already cooled and cooling that. What most ACs do in the wall is they take outside air and they cool that and then they blow that into the room. And then the air that's in the room is just continuing to get colder and colder. You know, it takes the outside air and cools it. And the fan blows over the cool, you know, that you just look it up. I don't explain it correctly. So these ACs by design are super inefficient. They're waste, literally. Now, you can find portable ACs that have two hoses, one that takes air in from outside and then the other one that blows the hot air out, back outside. Or you can do what I did, a very budget-conscious person, and modify it. So I like took a cardboard box, a big cardboard box, measured, duct tape. It was like a half-day project. But it worked. It worked better. It definitely worked better. But because of the whole, COVID situation, we're getting some financial help. Me and the missus, we were able to afford and split a in-wall AC. When I got this apartment, there was a hole, there was a sleeve in the wall, a cutout in the wall where an AC could go. It was covered up. But when I looked up how much those ACs cost to get a through wall one, they're like $700. But because of what's been going on and assistance and stuff like that, we were able to split one. So now we have one, and it's amazing. It's still kind of hot in here right now because I have all these lights on, and the fan is pointing the other way. But hey, that's what's going on. And of course, this app likes to freeze for some reason. So let me see. I got a message. Rookie was the last one that said they were interested. Once it loads, I'll tell you what they said. What'd they say? Nothing. No change yet, of course. Would you take 100? I put it up for 125. Would you take 100? I suppose so. I say, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Send. We got one. We got an offer. I say take 100 with pickup. Yeah, well, I put 125 because I wanted 100 for it. So I put 125. That's how it works. What I really want is 100. So I put 125. so that they could talk me down to 100. $125 or bust. Yeah. I should have said, go F yourself. See, I don't want to curse in the thing, although there's curses in this, but I don't want to curse here just in case. But yeah, I should have been like, go F yourself. When can you come pick it up? I'll be nice. When do you think you can come pick it up? Which is to say, you got to pick it up if it's 100. I ain't delivering that. Well, I got 3 dots. Got the dot. Where are you located? Doesn't it say in the listing? Oakland Gardens. That's where I live, everybody. There you go. Sorry. To the 10 people watching. Drop off for 135, says Pat. Yeah. They have to tip me. Okay, well, let's play. Hopefully I don't if you see any really big glaring edits that you don't think are just computer skips, let me know. I might miss them.
Paint your whole day in a negative way.
Even
Stand by. There we go.
Bye. Especially if it's like a day of, right?
Exactly.
And even early on in the day, that could potentially just
so embarrassing.
paint your whole day in a negative way.
So even if it's a day where I know that I fucked up, even so, I really do try to be like, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great.
You know, I'm thinking I should bleep that. I don't know. Maybe I should bleep it. See, the thing is, like, oh man, I'd have to watch it from the beginning again to see if anybody said, like, any other curses. Damn. Well, I know that was the first F word. Let's do it. So where are we at? 1301. So the first thing I got to figure out is like where I can find some tone, like a beep, you know. So let's see. Let's go here. We'll do help. Oh goodness, we're launching. Let's see, bars and tone. Premiere Pro. Oh boy. Oh god. Create color bars and a 1 kHz tone. Yeah, that. In the project panel, click the new item button. At the bottom project panel, choose bars and tone. New item button. Okay, boom. All right, so I think that's this. But let's go sound effects here. And then go new. Oh, boom. Wow, that was easy. Okay, so do that. And then steady tone. Oh, that's cool. You can adjust the frequency. But okay, so can I, yeah, double click there. That's fine. Okay. I guess I thought it would come up in the source here, but I'm not seeing it. Strange. Okay, so I guess what I got to do is, where'd she say it?
Great. This is great stuff.
That's very cool.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
I really do try to be like, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great.
Right?
Exactly.
And even early on in the day, that could potentially
be
just
so embarrassing.
paint your whole day in a negative way.
So even
Gotta
if it's
move
a
on.
day where I know that I
Right there. Okay, so let's really get in here.
fucked up.
Okay, so we want a little bit of the f. And then I guess I'll go in and then
Fucked up.
there's out. And then I'd like to put it on this track. So I think what I do is I click the A4. I'm going to unclick these just in case. Click that there. Now, I only want to bring the audio over, but it doesn't seem like I can do that. So I guess what I'll do is... There's probably such an easier way to do this. But I guess what I'll do is I'll just kind of lock V3, lock V2, and lock V1. And hopefully this will work. Okay. And then let me see. I can double click here. Can I do like the... Oh, crap. Didn't mean to do that. Double click here. Okay. Is there like an overwrite? I guess I'm just going to have to drag it. I'm just going to blade it. All right, so I thought something was going to work, and it didn't. And where did you put that? Okay, so I don't need that. My mouse doesn't, like, scroll the same way it does on a Mac. Please just... Jesus. All right, I'm going to Control L to unlink them, and then delete the top one. Okay, I don't know what that's about, Norton. Okay.
Fucked up.
Okay. So yeah, that's right. I also have to mute mute everybody else. You can go away.
I fucked.
All right. So I guess what I'll do is I'll blade shift everything, since also that stuff's locked. That makes it easier. Oh, no. Go like that. And then go up this way. And then I'll go boom. Shift, right click, enable. Let's see how that sounds. I'm going to get rid of this in and out because there's no need.
Know that I up.
Nice.
Know that I up. Even so.
It's a little loud. How loud are you? No, I mean, it's negative 12 decibels, so that's pretty good.
Know that I up.
Yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Oh, man. I feel like in other episodes of Us Damnit, there's a lot more F-bombs. I may just say, I may just say, for those episodes that I'm just gonna get. Let's see what my AC's doing. Checking in on the AC. It takes forever to load. Jeez. So far, nothing. She's Googling it to see how far she is from me. It says she's from New York, New York. Let's look at the reviews. So you can review the people who buy. You can review buyers. Polite, showed up on time, quick responses, trustworthy. Polite, showed up on time, quick responses, trustworthy, helpful. All right, everyone seems to be unfair prices. She is very polite, but not willing to negotiate. Womp womp. All right, pretty good reviews for her. But right now, no actions. Would be funny to put the Wilhelm Scream instead. Ha! Is that legal? Can I do that? That's not copywritten, is it? No. I guess it would be funny, but I think the Wilhelm Scream is long. It's like, aye! So I would have to like either speed it up or only use part of it. Like, aye! You know? And it might not be the work. It might be worth the work to like go and rip it off YouTube and get it in here. Although I could do it. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's kill some time. All right, so I just said the F word. Damn. All right, let's do Wilhelm Scream. Let's see if I can fit it in. Don't actually do it. I'm doing it. Yeah, it's like 3 seconds. It's so long. Maybe I could speed it up. All All right. Copy. All right, I'm going to do this. And then forgive me, you're not even on the screen with me. Do here. Download. All right, no, that's not right. Download. Boom. Okay, it's thinking about it. I'm trying to do it super quick. Converting. It may take a few minutes. Norton blocked an attack. Good. You said that my subscription was over, so why are you still blocking attacks, Norton? You lied to me. Anyway, download. MP4. All right. Show in the folder. Can you see? Yeah, you can probably see this. So we're going to put this. Where are you? We're going to go copy. And we're going to, I guess we're here. Tell Us Damnit. Audio. No. I want sound effects. Is there like media? No. Adobe? No. I don't know, I guess. I'll just stick it in here, just by itself. Get rid of that. And now we're going to go sound effects. We're going to go import. Derp. Where are you? Boom. Open. Okay, now. Oh, man. All right, well, let's move this down one. I'm going to grab the audio, bring it here. Yeah, it's like long. Let me mute this.
Know that I
She does have a pretty long pause there.
that I up.
That's not bad. Not bad. I guess what we should do though. You know what? I think yeah, because I could always just pull these back. I'm just gonna throw a cross dissolve on all these, like there, like there. This takes forever. Like there. Do the same over here, but this will probably be a little bit shorter. No. That. Annoying. Let's do 2 frames. And then I guess I'll just do copy, paste, paste.
I know that I up. Even
Cody, you're a genius. That was great.
so, even if it's a
Naganta, producción de videos corporativos, says. See, that's Spanish. In Spanish, the J is an H sound. It's not ja. It is ha 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 ha. Welcome, Naganta. Producción de videos That one trips me up. Corporativos. Desde Colombia. Bienvenidos. From Colombia. Bienvenidos a mi streamo. Thank you for coming in. Muchas gracias por visiting. Yeah. So, Naganta, just want to fill you in. I am trying to sell my air conditioner. Let's check in. Let's check in. Anything? Anything? It's a long Google she's doing, trying to figure out if she wants to come. I'm going to say too far? Too far? Question mark. Smiley face. Like a nervous smiley face. Like yeah. The smiley face with like the sweat thing. Too far? Send. No, play it cool. Don't message. Now you're making me self-conscious. All right. After that, I won't say anything. Naganta, I'm editing a show called Tell Us Damnit, where my business partner Cody Busing, who's in the chat with you right now, interview a industry professional in the film industry. Rita here is a assistant director, and we are currently QCing, quality checking the entire 37-minute video for any mistakes or any little polishes. and my business partner, rightly so, suggested that instead of your standard old 1 kilohertz sine wave tone of a bleep, that we bleep Rita's curse word with the revered Wilhelm Scream from film immemorial. It's been used for time immemorial, the Wilhelm Scream. There's a few other famous screams that I don't know if they have names, but there are a few other famous screams, or at least famous sound effects that I hear in movies. There's one in particular I can still hear in my head from a Dream Theater album, and I hear that same scream. I've heard it in like a Law and Order episode. I've heard it all over the place, and those need names as well. I wonder, and they probably do. It's probably the name of the file. I just wonder what they are. Okay, so let's revert. Let's go back and unlock these things. Cool. Wish I had a bigger monitor for now, but it is what it is. Oh, I'm in the Bronx. Now, I said too far. I'm in the Bronx. Is there a way we could meet? I'm right over the Throg's Neck. I'm right over the Throg's Neck. About a 12-minute drive from the Bronx. If they want me to meet someplace, 135. No, I don't know about that. Probably just back to 125. Plus, like, wouldn't they want to come here so they could, like, see it and, like, plug it in, make sure it works? That's just me. What does that mean, Wilhelm? I probably could show the video that came up with the Wilhelm Scream, but I'll just read it from Wikipedia. Wilhelm Scream. Let me turn off the TV here. Wilhelm Scream. The Wilhelm Scream is a stock sound effect that has been used in at least 400 films and TV series as of April 2020. There it is. Beginning in 1951 with the film Distant Drums. Wow, what a Jeopardy question. The scream is often used when someone is shot, falls from a great height, or is thrown from an explosion. The sound is named after Private Wilhelm, a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 Western in which the character gets shot in the thigh with an arrow and is believed to be voiced by actor and singer Sheb Woolley. Wait a minute. So it was first used in Distant Drums, but it's named after another usage of it. Wow. So Wilhelm wasn't even the first. That's crazy. Hey, Martin. Welcome, my man. Good to see you. I'm doing well. We are taking a little bit of a sabbatical and learning about what the Wilhelm Scream is. I'm also simultaneously trying to sell a portable air conditioner on a yard sale app. That it's going fairly well. I had 3 people asking about it during this stream. Anyway, so that's the Wilhelm Scream. That's pretty cool. All right, let's X that off. And why did we use the Wilhelm Scream, you asked? Why did we need to know? Because we used it to censor Rita. We censor the F word. Here we go.
So even if it's a day where I know that I up, even so, I really do try to be like, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great. This is great stuff.
That's very cool.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, what the most common misconceptions are of what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, talking to Uncle Bob or whatever, like, oh, you're a shitting director. So what do you do there? You get him his coffee or something?
Uncle Bob has no idea what I do. Most of my friends have no idea what I do. I would say a common misconception for ADs is that we yell a lot, that we're always stressed all the time, and that we're very mean.
That's like a stereotype, you know? Yeah, people come into to a set and like expect the AD to be like this mean grump.
And
you gotta
especially
deal with.
the poor background actors. I swear to God, they're all traumatized. Like, anytime I work with a big group of background extras, they're like, oh my God, like, you're really nice. Like, I not to brag, but I hear that a lot, and I'm like, who are you working with?
Yeah, right?
Like, I'm professional.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I'm overly nice, I'm just professional, and like, I truly believe that every part of the film set is a colleague, you know, but I guess there are people who kind of treat them like sheep.
Yeah, they feel herded from room to room.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is like a fine line, I feel like, though, because there probably are a lot of your job is being blunt and
the
needing to
moment
be,
that
and if someone's going to take offense to that, then sometimes it may be their problem. Where like all you're doing is just doing your job and doing it in like the most like fair way.
Exactly. I found pretty early on through observation that my attitude sets the tone for most of the people around me.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I'm the first person they see. Oftentimes I'm the first person who will introduce myself and kind of give them the lay of the land. And I learned very early on that no matter who you're talking to, celebrity talent, the makeup assistant, anybody, if you set the tone in a friendly and professional way, then they will take that cue from you. And that's how they're going to conduct themselves too. And so my default is always professional and friendly, even in the toughest situation.
Martin, what bad flute sound are you talking about? Can you like, I don't know if you can put links in the chat, but if you can put a link in the chat, link to like a YouTube video that used that sound, because I want to know what sound you're talking about.
Because if I'm stressed or if I'm visibly upset, other people are just going to follow me right down that path.
That's a great bit of thing to know about the position.
Yeah.
That's a great
You have
piece
to
of
know that
knowledge.
about yourself, because I do see some people who work in, you know, a similar position or even the same position to me, and I see them act flustered, and then it makes other people flustered, and I just want to tell them, like, chill. Like, I know it's an emergency situation. We're all doing the best we can in the quickest, most safest way that we can do it, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Even though I do have a lot of responsibility on my shoulders to the director and the producer to make sure we get it done exactly the way that they want and on budget, part of my job is to use my expertise to look at the situation and be like, well, we can't do that because of this, or we can try to do it this way, or you guys know, like it's problem solving. It's total, you know, you can have the best plan, right? You can be the most prepared, but something's always going to happen, and you're always going to have to do something on the fly.
Yeah.
So you just have to be prepared to like not panic, basically.
So there's a first AD and there's a second AD.
Yeah. So it all depends on how big the job is. So oftentimes it's just a first AD. You would bring in a second AD if you have a lot of on-camera talent. I would say, I tell people who are trying to first AD in the commercial world, if you have more than 5 on-screen talent, ask for a second AD.
Cool.
Because it's the second AD's responsibility to be in charge of all the on-screen talent. And that could be, you know, one high-profile celebrity or like 200 background extras. Sometimes both, you know? So like you just need one person to like help manage that. So the second AD is responsible for getting all of the talent through hair and makeup and through wardrobe. And as you know, in the commercial world, all of those steps involve various degrees of approval from not only the director, but from your client as well. And so if you don't manage that process, it can waste hours. And so basically, if you have a second as well. And so if you don't manage that process, it can waste hours. And so basically, if you have a second AD, the second AD's responsibility is to make sure that all of the on-camera talent is ready at the same time as the crew. Because you guys know how it is. The moment you're waiting on one piece of the puzzle, it throws the whole day off schedule. You should see some of the schedules I make. There's like not a minute to spare sometimes. Just, you know, given the amount that they've asked us to do.
How attached to the hip are you to the situation? You know what I mean? Like, Are you watching every brush going through the hair? Like, we need
Oh my
to get
God,
going.
no.
You know what I
No,
mean?
no, no.
Yeah, so where's like that safe, comfortable distance? You know, physically, how far away are you from them? Like, how often do you check in? Like, you ready yet? You know what I mean? Like, what's it like?
It's all about reading the room.
Got it.
It's all about reading the room.
How do you read a room?
How does
like,
one read it correctly?
Yes.
So much of the job is based on psychology and like paying attention to other people. And
Yeah.
it's really helpful too when you've been working for a couple of years and you start to work with the same people a lot.
True.
So I know a lot of the people who I work with and I know how long it takes them to do a certain thing. So I should have the experience and the wherewithal to be like, okay, she sat down in the chair at 7:30 a.m. and I know that because I put her there and I looked at my watch.
Whoops.
These people will be getting ready in different places, right?
It
So there's
100% depends.
depends. So it
depends.
varies. It varies.
It depends on your location. Sometimes you have a motorhome. Sometimes you don't. Like literally, sometimes we have to throw people in the back of a van to get their makeup done. It all depends on the budget and the job. If you're shooting in a residence, you're almost always crammed into the basement. Hair, makeup, and wardrobe is always like in some like basement where everyone's like ducking.
Do you ever ask like the electric to give you a light?
All the time. Also because I always have a pre-call. Like I'm usually the first person there and one of the last people to leave. And so like
burn the candle at both ends.
exactly. And the crew will come in a little bit later than me. And so
Yeah.
it's like the first thing the best boy electric sees once he's finished his coffee and we've called them in is like me like, can I get a work light?
Yeah, she's waiting.
Yeah. Hey, so we've been working for like a half hour already, but
In the dark.
the wardrobe, in the dark, and the wardrobe steamer kicked the power out, and now the hair dryer isn't working, and they're expecting us on set in 15 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah. If I'm scheduling it, ideally I'm there a half an hour before hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and they get in, and they have at least a
Yeah, Martin, the video is skipping a little bit, but that's not in the edit. I mean, I don't think it is. I could double check. That's just happening because the computer's doing a lot of processing right now because it's editing multiple tracks. Oh, I forgot to shut the waveforms off too. That saves a little bit of processing power. And it's streaming. You know, there's a lot going on. But I'll double check. I'll double check just to make sure. Oh boy, when did she say basement?
You're almost always crammed into the basement. Hair, makeup, and wardrobe is always like in some like basement where everyone's like ducking.
See, it didn't skip there. So yeah, it's just like the computer processing and catching up. Can't believe I nailed that basement too. I was like, wow, I got lucky there.
I have at least a half hour to set up before talent is called in. So if I'm doing things
See, like that wasn't real.
correctly, no one's surprised. They were aware, they were checked in on, they got a 5-minute warning, and then they were told it was time to go.
That's awesome.
And that's all you can do. My default is always nice and professional. If-
Sometimes you gotta rev into
If I'm having a problem with someone, my go-to line, and I kind of like this one, and I truly believe in it, is like, I'm not going to tell another adult what to do more than twice.
Plus, at that point, it's like they know.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I'll say that. I'll be like, hi, we've been working together all day.
Hi.
Something you should know about me is that I don't tell an adult what to do more than twice. And
Do
they
you
usually get the
preface-
picture.
Do you say that before the second warning or after?
I'll say it after the second.
Yeah.
That's great.
The other thing that an AD needs to do is based on
Whoops. I hit a button with the phone.
and 20 people. And 20 people. The other thing that an AD needs to do is based on the job. Like, so you know how on any shoot there will be one determining factor that, if not managed, will fuck you.
Oh, all right. We got another one. We got another one, folks. I got to put the waveforms back on. Okay, let's hop in here. That looks like it right there, if I had to guess.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Well,
All right, so we'll blade. I'm not going to do shift blade. I'm just going to do single blade.
fuck.
Blade, blade, blade. Now, because we heard the full Wilhelm Scream from before, I think just a yeah will be funny. So So let's find out where that's at. And also, let me highlight all of these, right-click, enable. Let's try that. Oh my god.
Managed, well, you.
I don't know.
Managed, well, you.
Is there a slip tool? Let me check something, because this might be the next nugget. So another cool tool to use is the slip tool. Let me see if it exists. Keyboard shortcuts S. Slip tool. Okay, cool. Okay. So the slip tool is a pretty dope thing. So it's hard to explain what exactly it does. I need like a piece of paper. All right, so stand by. If this is the nugget, I'll obviously have to edit this part out, but I'm going to do something. So hang on a second. Don't you just love how I have a box cutter nearby? Oh. Okay, so it's my Lowe's receipt here. Okay, so check this out. Here's a demonstration of what the slip tool is. Let's go full camera mode. So here is the clip. This hole is actually the clip in the timeline. This is where the clip begins. This is where the clip ends. Right? That's the in and out point of the clip in the timeline. Right here. This is the entire clip, the raw clip. This is where I hit the record button, and this is where I hit the record button to stop. So this is the full media. So the slip tool is like, okay, so let's say I threw in the clip here in the timeline. So this, I don't want to move this. I don't want to move the clip around. I don't want to do that. I like where the in point is, and I like where the end point is. What I want to do is I want to move the media within there. So the slip tool, what that does is it moves the clip within that area like this. So the in point and the out point in the timeline never changes, but I'm just basically sliding the media around to find the best point that I want it to be. So that's the slip tool. So what I'm doing right now is with the Wilhelm Scream, I can't really go much more than, I don't want to extend this, but I don't necessarily like where it's kind of falling, because right now it's here.
Well, you.
Because we're trying to do a funny thing. Now this might be good. I might just undo and go back to this. I might have just nailed it.
Managed, well, you.
So let's do the slip tool, S, and let's just experiment. Let's go this way. Let's go 5 frames.
You.
See the difference?
Well, you.
All right, and then let's go now back to the original and then go 5 frames the other way. Let's see how that sounds.
Managed, well, you.
Okay, the fact that I laughed at that might make the most sense to leave it there.
Managed, well, you.
Yeah. Let's try 1 frame back this way. Just one.
Managed, well, you.
I like that. So there you go. That will be the nugget for today. The slip tool. Yeah. Boom. BTW just realized you've sorted your green screen color grading out. Kinda. What I did was I made this light better, and then I added a fill light over here. So now I have a fill light from my right, and I have the key light from the left. So I'm just more like well lit. I have more light on me, which is great because it keeps me separated from the background. So I really just needed more light on myself. But thank you. I am using my webcam on my laptop, which I'm using like a gaming laptop, like a pretty powerful laptop, which is another reason why the thing's skipping, because I'm using the webcam too. So maybe at some point when I get a better camera. I was using a GoPro, but it's an old GoPro and it's very grainy and you can see a lot of the crap, so I don't like that. Naganta. Lighting is very good. I love it. Looks great. Ha 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 ha. The lighting on the green screen, me, or the lighting in Us Damnit? So let me also put my knife away. You like how I just like have a box cutter and like random paper and I can give you a little visual aid? I'm proud of myself with that. So let's back up a bit. Turn the waveforms off. Back up a bit. Right about there. And let's go back a little bit longer so I can check my phone in your editing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Code, I don't know if you're still watching. Do you remember how we had this lit? This was also the first day of shooting, so by the second time we changed things up a little bit. I don't really remember. I think we had... Did we bring the Kinos? Or did we just rent their stuff? Because we shot this at the YouTube space. So we were able to get access to lights, but I don't remember what lights they were. But we definitely had a bunch of lights in there, and we had like nets in front of them. We spent some time. But thank you. I appreciate it. We probably have a behind-the-scenes shot of this whole setup somewhere. Maybe even on our Instagram. I think it was both Kinos plus whatever was in the room. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if you go to our IG, which is Rethink Films, just at Rethink Films, scroll back to like, when was this shoot actually? It should say, it should tell me when this was filmed, right? Is there no date in the metadata? No date? Well, I can always just reveal and explore here and it should tell me. Oh man. Okay, 2007, November. If you go back to November 2017 in our Instagram, you'll probably find... Now, this is MXF, so that's strange. I just put in C200 footage that was MXF, and I couldn't see it, but I can see this. See, here's our buddy Austin. Look how good he looks. Look at this man. Maybe I should edit that one next. I kind of want to do our friend Johnny Woo next, because he's an actor and he had some cool stories. So I think I want to do that one next. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, let's get back to it. Boom.
Wardrobe, and they get in, and they have at least a half hour to set up before talent is called in. So if I'm doing things correctly, no one's surprised. They were aware, they were checked in on, they got a 5-minute warning, and then they were told it was time to go.
That's awesome.
And that's all you can do. My default is always nice and professional.
Sometimes you gotta rev into
If I'm having a problem with someone, my go-to line, and I kind of like this one, and I truly believe in it, is like, I'm not going to tell another adult what to do more than twice.
Plus, at that point, it's like, they know, they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I'll say that. I'll be like, hi, we've been working together all day. Something you should know about me is that I don't tell an adult what to do more than twice. And they usually get the picture.
Do you say it before the second warning or after?
I'll say it after the second.
Yeah.
That's great.
The other thing that an AD needs to do is based on the job. Like, so you know how on any shoot there will be one determining factor that, if not managed, will you.
Give us an example.
Fuck
Can
you
give me an
over.
example?
Just like a certain part of the location, you know, like maybe there's like one tiny little rickety elevator and 6 hampers of gear and 20 people for the load-in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's part of my job to be like, okay, if we don't give it enough time, the load-in will fuck us. Or
All right, so I think I can just bring over the thing I just had for here. It should be fine.
don't give it enough time, the load-in will fuck up.
Now, I actually want to see something. How many frames before it do I start? 1, 2, just 2. Okay, so we'll go copy. This should, since this is clicked here, it should paste it on the same thing. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay, cool. And now 2 frames, was it? Yeah, it was 2 frames, I think. Okay. 1, 2.
I'm the load in will us.
Or maybe it might be a little bit funny if I actually slip this, because we just heard it a minute ago, a little bit more towards the end of the clip.
In will us.
How many minutes apart are they? 21. This is 21:03, and this is 20. Oh, wow, it's only 20 seconds apart. Well, we're going to listen to both in a row. How's the music video edit going? Well, it hasn't started yet. I'm actually in the process of like doing research about the proper way to like get it started, because it's using the C200 in its raw format, and yeah, I want to make sure I set up the project file correctly and don't run into any problems later on. But I'm excited to get started on it. Probably, I think next week will probably be when I really dive deep.
Any shoot, there will be one determining factor that, if not managed, will you.
Give us
We'll
an
just
example.
fuck
Can
you
give me an
over.
example?
Oh, she said it there too. God damn it. Missed that one.
You.
Give us
We'll
an
just
example.
fuck.
Give us an example.
Fuck.
Yeah, so that actually makes a lot more sense to like do it again, but then like put it like even further towards the end. Because like you just heard it. If you hear it again, it's like it might get like annoying instead of funny. So we can do this, and because it's so much closer to it, I think we can really push it down a ways. 5 frames.
Managed will you.
Give us
We'll
an
just
example.
fuck
Can
you
you give me an
over.
example?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the other one where it's at. It's probably fine.
Just like a certain part of the location, you know, like maybe there's like one tiny little rickety elevator and 6 hampers of gear and 20 people for the load in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like it's part of my job to be like, okay, if we don't give it enough time, the load in will f us. Or maybe the job is very prop heavy or very art department heavy. So there's like a martyr on
Why didn't I laugh at that? I don't know. Let's put it there.
enough time, the load in will f us.
Okay, yeah, so that made me laugh. All right.
In will f us. Or
That was great because it's just like, ah!
Or maybe the job is very prop
So stupid, but I love it so much.
heavy
You're a genius, Cody.
or very art department heavy. So there's like a martyr on every job, be it a person or a department, and it's part of my job to figure out who or what that is going to be and what I can do to help it.
Yeah. So you're obviously awesome. You're obviously killing it.
Obviously.
How did you become so awesome? You know, how did you get your start? What is Rita Warkov's beginnings?
I think that's a great time for me to take a pee. So I'll be right back, and I'm going to pee, maybe grab some water, and I shall return. I really want to, oh man, I want to have my Captain Picard song ready. Apparently, I X'd it off, and it's not around anymore, so... sorry guys, hang on. Here we go. All right, I'll be back.
Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly. My love is a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I do not love thee. Tanagra. I am locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am locutus aboard. You aboard. I am locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am locutus aboard. You aboard. I am locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. Untitled to ramble on about something everyone knows. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. You just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly. My love is a fever, longing till for that which longer nurseth the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I do not love thee. With mine eyes they be 1,000 heresies. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. In despite of you are pleased to know. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Respond to my questions. I am locutus aboard. You aboard. I am locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am locutus aboard. You aboard. I am locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. to ramble on about something everyone knows. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. He just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. Moving from topic to topic. Quite hypnotic.
Of the USS Enterprise, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. See, I can still hear it in my ears. Okay, we're back. You may or may not hear more sounds. My fiance shut the door to the room because she's playing DDR in the living room. We have a PlayStation 2 with Dance Dance Revolution, and she ordered one of those mats so that she could dance on it. And she figured that the music would be loud and it would interrupt the stream, which is very sweet of her. But the problem is that she's got the AC on in the other room, and the door closes, and this room was slowly becoming an oven. So I opened up the door, I put the fan on me, so you might hear, fan might be louder. You may or may not hear her curse or scream in exultation from nailing a particular dance move. But the show must go on, and we're back. We're back in the edit. So I did say earlier when we started the stream that I would probably only go till 8. And I think that makes sense. We're on track to get there. I want to get to the end of this, and then I don't think I'm going to have time to do the outro. I don't even know what the outro is going to be yet. And plus, I want to do the nugget after this is done. So, yeah, I think the outro might have to be a little bit more complicated. Like, I think I might have to set up our camera, the C100, probably right here, probably on the backdrop. I'm not sure. Got a lot of thinking to do with that. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to say because I don't know when I'm going to start releasing these. So I might not even. It might make sense to not even do the outro until I'm ready to release them, because then the information might be more accurate. I might, in other words, I might make an outro now, and it's not going to make any sense when it's time to release them, and then I got to redo it anyway. So, at the very least, if I get to the end of this and I'm happy, I'll export it and I'll render out a file of it, and then whenever we do the outro, I can just drop that file right onto a timeline. That would be great because I do want to start deleting stuff off of this work hard drive, because I have all this stuff saved on hard drives, but it's on a particular hard drive that can go between my PC and my Mac, and it's filling up, or it's filled up, and I'd like to, as I knock these out, delete that off of there, and it goes back into storage. So hopefully we'll get to the end of the stream and I'll start exporting it, and we can go through the export process. That's a whole other thing. I know there was a guy on here before, Mike, who's like learning. Exporting is a whole thing. So we can maybe get to that. And then as it's starting to render, that'll probably take, it's 37 minutes. It'll probably take at least an hour to render. Or I don't even have to render it right now, but whatever, we'll go through it. Anyway, let's get back into it. Here we go.
You're obviously killing it.
Obviously.
How did you become so awesome? How did you get your start? What is Rita Warkov's beginnings?
My parents were really strict. And to be honest...
Hey. And how does that translate to me?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. That's true.
Amazing.
We're not going to go that deep. Seriously, don't be friends with your kids. They need discipline.
Amazing.
I didn't even know what an AD was when I first started working in film.
Wouldn't it have been awesome if you had this video to watch?
Kids, you don't know how lucky you are. I didn't even know that I wanted to work in film. I didn't go to film school.
Daniel Lee just subscribed on YouTube. The weird thing is that like people will subscribe on to the YouTube, but probably because they just were watching like a tutorial and they were like, oh, let me subscribe. And they, unbeknownst to them, they are getting a notification in the stream. So good for them. Hey, Daniel Lee, if you are actually in the stream and subscribing on YouTube from the stream, please say hello in the chat if you can. If not, still good. That's awesome. Yay.
To watch?
Kids, you don't know how lucky you are. I didn't even know that I wanted to work in film. I didn't go to film school. Maybe that'll be inspirational to somebody out there who can't afford it.
Did you go to college? Did you get
Yeah, so I got a degree, and it's funny because I went to NYU, which has a very well-known film program, and I work with a ton of people who came out of that program, and they're all awesome. But I didn't go through film because I didn't know that that's what I wanted to do.
What did you study?
Well, when I was in college, I studied journalism, and I focused on broadcast journalism.
I feel like journalism is in the media genre.
Yeah, oh, totally, yeah. And so that's what I was focused on, and I did do broadcast. So we learned how to shoot.
Cool.
We learned how to do basic shooting and editing and work with different programs and trained to write in that world as well. Obviously, going to NYU put me in New York City, which is just the best place to be to work in all of this. Like, to be honest, like, it was proximity for me.
When you said you were doing broadcast, what does that mean? Where you were on a news shoot or what?
Well, the first job that I had out of college was at CNBC.
Oh, cool.
So that's how I started.
Cool. Doing a PA thing or?
Yeah, I was a production assistant for their documentaries and long form department.
How did you get that gig?
Now that's a funny story.
I mean, hey, that's
Here we are.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to being in New York City, you can't make this shit up. Like,
Should I censor the S word? I think I'm not gonna. I think the F word is really all you need to do. I think. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna leave it, I think. I'm gonna leave it.
Like, I was an NYU student, and I was with my friend, and we went to, the legendary Murray's Bagels on 6th Avenue, because we were fucking hungry, and
Man, Rita. It's not Rita's fault. It's my fault for deciding that I wanted to censor this. Rita's awesome.
we went to, the legendary Murray's Bagels on 6th Avenue, because we were fucking.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I made a shortcut on the keyboard. Just E is enable, which is awesome. I forgot I did that. Let's use the first one we ever did. I guess that's no, really? No, it was here. Yeah, I knew it had been a while. Oh boy. Where are we? I don't know what's going on here. Oh yeah, I remember this. This I don't think is we may end up fixing that. I'm not sure. Crap. Oh, here we go. Should have just went right back to where the cursor was. Okay.
Because we were hungry and we were hungry.
Okay, can't use that one. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Whoopsie. Can't use that one. So maybe I'll use the first one of the shorter ones, which I guess is this one. Hate it when that happens. Okay.
Because we were hungry and knew because we were hungry and
Nice. Now, since I'm here, should I just do the shit?
Murray's is the Murray's is the shit.
New York.
She said shit a while ago, too.
You can't make this
The thing is that, like, I'm going to have to go back and watch everything up until the first time I put Wilhelm Scream in, because I wasn't paying attention. There might be another curse or two in there.
make this shit up. This shit.
So I want to leave some of the so you know what curse it is.
This shit up. Can't make this up. Make this up.
I'm actually going to cut it there.
Make this up. Make this up.
I'm going to slide it a little bit this way.
Make this up.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, and maybe I'll copy that one for you.
Like, I was an NYU student, and I was with my friend, and we went to, you know, the legendary Murray's Bagels on 6th Avenue, because we were hungry, and Murray's is the shit.
I think this one has to be, like, really different. I think this one's just going to be the last, like,
Murray's is the shit. The shit. The shit. Shit.
Other great thing about having a big keyboard like this is using the number pad over here. Because if you use the number pad, you click this. I just want to move it one frame. So I could click it and move it one frame, which can get a little bit precise. But if I just hit the plus sign, plus, you can see it pop up over there. 1 for one frame, enter. It just moved it. I'll scroll over a bit. Apple Z. So look, see, or Apple Z. I'm using a PC. Control Z. So I go +1. Nope. I don't know what's gonna happen. Now if I do +1 and nothing's clicked, the cursor moves. But if I select the clip I want to move +1, that moves. That's so nice having that, because sometimes you want to move, like, okay, I know I want to move this 15 frames, so I can go +15. Boom. Apple Z. I'm just gonna call it Apple Z. Apple Z is undo. Even if I'm using a PC, it's still Apple Z. I'm sorry. It's gonna be really hard to change that. And now I said I wanted to, like, really go nuts with this one, so I'm gonna go to S. Okay, there's like nothing there. There you go. So, like, what happens if we just do that?
Murray's is the shit.
New York.
Too much.
Murray's is the shit.
New York.
Too little.
Murray's is the shit.
New York.
Okay. This really is making it very funny for me.
Because we were hungry, and Murray's is the shit.
New York bagel.
Oh man.
Can't make this up. Like, I was an NYU student, and I was with my friend, and we went to, you know, the legendary Murray's Bagels on 6th Avenue, because we were hungry, and Murray's is the shit.
New York bagel. Come on.
Oh my God. Do you hear they toast now? This was back when Murray's didn't toast bagels. And the line was kind of crazy, and there were no tables available. And I wasn't even getting food, so my friend was in line for food, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna scope it out and grab a table. And this woman, I guess, saw me loitering. And I still, to this day, I don't know why she struck up a conversation with me. I assume it was because she thought I was a student, because I looked like a student. I had a backpack. We were near NYU. But she goes, oh, I'm about to leave. Do you want to take the table? And I'm like, yeah. And so I sat down.
I can't stand this place. They don't toast.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. This woman, as she's packing up, and as I'm sitting down to claim this table for my friend and I, she just starts talking to me
Amazing.
in this way to where I assumed that
I kind of need to go back a little bit. I kind of stopped paying attention.
Oh, cool.
so that's how I started.
Cool. Doing a PA thing or?
Yeah, I was
wow,
a
I
production
went-
assistant for their documentaries and long.
I went really far back.
You-
Not that far, like here.
And the line was kind of crazy and there were no tables available. And I wasn't even getting food, so my friend was in line for food and I was like, well, I'm just gonna scope it out and grab a table. And this woman, I guess, saw me loitering. And I still, to this day, I don't know why she struck up a conversation with me. I assume it was because she thought I was a student because I looked like a student, I had a backpack, we were near NYU. But she goes, oh, I'm about to leave. Do you want to take the table? And I'm like, yeah. And so I sat down.
I can't stand this place. They don't toast.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. This woman, as she's packing up, and as I'm sitting down to claim this table for my friend and I, she just starts talking to me
Amazing.
in this way to where I assumed that she was nuts. I thought she was a crazy person. You know, New York City, this crazy lady's talking to me, whatever.
We have our share.
Yeah, so she just starts interrogating me basically, and she's like, are you a student? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh, NYU? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what do you study? Journalism. Oh, I know a lot of people. And I'm like, sure you do.
I'm sure you do, crazy lady.
I'm sure you do. So I'm literally just like, okay.
They all live up here.
Yeah, and so I'm doing that thing where you're talking to someone, but you're not really.
Yeah.
And we're wrapping up the conversation, and she hands me her business card. Oh, and she goes, are you looking for internships? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, that's what I need. I'm a student. Like, yes. So she hands me her card and she leaves. And I'm like, okay, well, this is probably nothing. Like, that was insane. I look at the card and she's a vice president of a very well-known modeling agency.
Huh.
And I was like, okay, well, that's more legit than nothing.
Wow. It's insane that a crazy person is the vice president of a... No, I'm just kidding. No, she's probably business.
And I'm not saying her name because I respect the shit out of her.
There's another one.
Shit out of her.
Course.
Shit. Respect the shit.
I think I might still have the clip in my clipboard. Paste. Boom. I gotta extend it by 1, and let's hear.
Respect the shit out of her.
Of course.
Respect the shit out of
Of
her.
course.
Okay.
But she is a crazy person. She just started talking to someone she didn't know. Like,
Well,
okay.
She saw talent, maybe. I don't know.
She didn't see shit. I was just standing there.
I need to do a shortcut for audio waveforms turning on and off. I don't know what that would be. Audio waveforms. Maybe W? What does W do? W does nothing. Okay, so what if I click W? Wedge tool. Audio, or let's do wave form. Display mode, audio waveform. So can I just drag that to here? Huh. Let's see if that works. Okay. So like W. No. W. W. Not doing anything. Poop. So let me get rid of that. Shortcut. How do I like delete? Moisturized Chris. Hello, Sensei. Kaibald. Kaibald. Well, I get the bald part, especially since you have the emojis. But I don't know the Kai. Hello, Chris-san. Here, show me paint fence. Show me sand floor. What a good movie that is. I don't remember how to delete something off of the W here. Boom. Wedge tool, go to out point. Oh, so this already, well, this says there's nothing on it. Go to out point. There's nothing on it. And I never used W, so this is all going away. I have no idea what the wedge tool is. Hopefully I don't ever need to know what it is. But let's do show. Show through edit, show rules, show guide, show video. So there's no show audio waveform. Panels. Show hide tracks. Show audio time units. Show audio time units. Come on. All right, fine. Show space audio. Show audio time units. Show audio time units. Oh my goodness. Wave. Oh, see, I should have just trusted. Now, if I drag this to W. I don't understand what the green slash means. Show audio waveforms, W. Okay, so let's go OK. W. Oh man, love it when something works. Okay, cool. Because I've been doing that a lot since I'm censoring Rita. I do feel like turning off the waveforms makes it go a little bit faster. At least it did back when it was Final Cut. So I'm just assuming. But anyway, Moisturized Chris San. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. What do you do? Is there anything I can help you with? Any questions you might have? Please like, subscribe, consider super chat, consider joining. The join button is below on YouTube. You can take a look at that, see what you think. Moisturized Chris. Okay, so yeah, you're not here for, and there it is on my screen too. Whatever. So you basically a Seinfeld episode. Well, good for you. Good for you. You know, are you in a bet with Now I know what moisturized Chris means. Well, that's cool, man. Do you have any do you have any I don't want to say desire, but do you have any motivation to learn about filmmaking from me via editing? Are you an editor, a filmmaker of any kind? I'm curious. Will watching me benefit your skills of editing, filmmaking, cinematography, photography? See or no? Yes or no, Mr. Chris? Okay. Well, I just hid that person. So his messages will no longer appear in chat. Sorry, Chris. We're trying to keep this PG. That's why I'm censoring Rita. That's why I'm doing the work to censor, is because I want this to reach a wide audience. Wide audience. So, good luck with your competition. You didn't say it was a competition. It was a competition with yourself. Good luck. Stay strong. You know, you could do it. You can do it, my man. But you can't chat about it in my chat. Sorry. Anyway, let us continue.
She didn't see shit.
That's right. She didn't see shit. So, with the W, boom, boom. Nice. That works.
She didn't see shit. See shit. Shit.
I'm leaving this one a little long. Because why not? We don't need to really be very surgical about it.
She didn't see shit. I was just standing there.
Nice.
And And
That's crazy.
Lauren eats her bagel. We leave. Thankfully, she keeps hanging out with me. We like go back to my place, and I'm so glad she was still with me just to keep witnessing what happened.
Yeah.
So we get back to my place, and I'm like, "Hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget?" Like,
Long
just
shot.
just in case this
Yeah.
is a thing, I
Yeah.
may as well email her.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Rita. We just met at Murray's. It would be so cool if you could connect me to any internships you know about,
Whatever you
because
got.
that's what she said. Send. Within 20 minutes, I'm CC'd on like 15 different emails to producers, to all these random people, to writers. This is Rita. She's an NYU student. She'd be a great intern if you're looking.
Insane.
My head was
Wow.
spinning.
That's awesome.
That's like kind
This is
of
the thing
best
that could
case
happen to me.
scenario in
Yeah.
like many ways.
I couldn't believe it.
For that sort of
fairy
thing.
godmother shit. And
Yeah.
their shit. Fairy
Okay.
godmother shit. Godmother shit. And
Yeah.
so
Wow.
long story, not so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
She connected me with a wonderful woman named Allison O'Brien, who
So yeah, there's something here. That's what we're here for. Where'd you go?
fairy godmother. And
Yeah.
so,
Wow.
long story, not so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
She connected me with a wonderful
That's strange. I definitely feel like the levels were modified there, but I'm not seeing them. Is it because, You know, I'm also noticing I'm not seeing the whatchamacallit. I'm not seeing, like, the little thing that shows you the, yeah, show audio keyframes. Yeah, there we go. So if I go W, oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, the keyframes are off, but you can see here.
so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
She
I don't remember this. I put the compressor on all this, you know, after this little thing was made here. So let me see what happens if I do this.
so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was getting rid of the Okay, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. It is what it is.
Long story, not so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
She connected me with a wonderful woman named Allison O'Brien, who at the time was a producer at CNBC.
Wow.
So I went in for an interview with them, and I got an internship, worked my butt off for a year, unpaid, while I was still in school, and they hired me when I graduated.
As a PA?
Yes,
That's
as
so
a
cool.
PA.
Wow.
And this was during the recession, studying journalism. Journalism 101 was literally our professors being like, get out! The industry's tanking! We're all getting fired! No one's getting paid! Like,
man.
you're idiots! And it was a depressing time. At the time, I was the only one of my friends who had a job upon graduation in the field that I actually wanted to go into. It was so rare at the time. And it's just like, that's the way it is now.
Let me ask you this. During that period of unpaid internship, what do you think was it about specifically you and how you were on set and just your attitude that unlocked that paid job? What did you do? How did you get them to like you? Like, did they like?
Oh my God, I don't.
Okay, so obviously we're seeing a thing here now. The audio sounds great because I'm muted, and I think what I did here was there was a thing that I just wanted to mute, sort of like before. Two people were talking over each other, and I wanted to choose one. Right here.
Is now.
Let me ask you this.
4X Fallinks now following on Twitch. Thank you. Amazing. Thanks for following on the Twitch. Yeah. So I edit on Premiere Mondays and Wednesdays. Hey. Thank you. You're showing up in the chat too. Cool. So what's up? Thanks for following. Yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I edit on Premiere. I do other things on this stream. I just got Adobe Premiere. Cool. Yeah. So that's why this stream exists. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. and I have no clue how to use it. This stream is for you. Thank you for following. Thank you for being here. My company is Rethink Films. My name's Steve. My business partner, Cody, is not in the frame right now. There he is, right here, right above me. That's my business partner, Cody. And yeah, so this show that I'm editing is a show that me and Cody did a couple of years ago that kind of, we got busy. It was a little bit too much work to edit. And so it kind of went by the wayside while we were working on other projects. But because Twitch is happening, because Twitch is a thing, because COVID was a thing, and now I'm home, I decided to make content out of editing, more content. So and my channel on YouTube, I already have a channel on YouTube that has 80,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I have a lot of like pretty popular tutorials on there, mostly for cinematography, not a lot of editing ones. But if you wanted to, you can go to Dicasa Film. This is my YouTube page, Dicasa Film, and that's where I have some tutorials. But you're here on Twitch, so that's cool. Yeah, so on Twitch, I'm in Adobe, and I'm going through Adobe, and you can just watch and learn. You can ask me questions. It's a little bit unfortunate that I'm sort of at the end of this project, but if you keep tuning in, I'll be starting the next episode of this show, and that'll be cool too, because that's going to be like starting a project from scratch, which is really important when you're just starting out in Premiere, figuring out like where to put things and like how to get things in there and how to make sure your timeline matches the media, matches the settings and all that stuff. Somebody just chatted in YouTube as well, Mr. Aylwood. Hey man, been watching you since I was a kid, 8 years ago. That 3-point lighting video really helped me a lot a while back. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about to our Twitch guys. So right now I'm streaming simultaneously. I'm streaming on my Dicasa Film Twitch, and I'm also streaming on my Dicasa Film YouTube page, and also streaming to my company Rethink Film's Twitch page. I'm going two places at once right now. Yes, I'm just going to call you Fallings. Yeah, I have a video production company. We film videos. We just shot a music video last week. This was all filmed by us. That's me, obviously, over here, and that's my business partner, Cody. That's what I do. If you want to go to Rethink Films, rethink-films, that's my website of my company. You can check us out. I just put it in the chat. Yeah, you could check it out. Mr. Aylwood, thank you so much for joining in. That's really awesome to hear. That video is like actually like there's been an uptick of views in that 3-point lighting video. I guess because everyone's home from COVID and they want to film stuff. So like that has gotten like 100,000 views in the last like couple of weeks, or which is crazy. So yeah, Fallings, if there's any questions that you have about editing or anything, if there's anything I can help you with, like I'm here. But yeah, just tune in and just watch me edit. I go through the mentality. Right now what we're doing is this edit is done. So I'm basically just going through and I'm like polishing, fixing any like last minute mistakes. I'm also censoring some curses because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I want to try to make this appeal to a wide audience, and I have had videos in the past that I curse in that people said that they wanted to share but they couldn't share because it had curses. So it has happened before. So but instead of just putting in like a regular tone, I'm putting in this funny thing called the Wilhelm Scream, which if we get to another curse, you'll hear. I subscribe to your YouTube channel. That's great. Subscribe to the Rethink Films one down here, not just to Casa Film, but also this one, because this is where I put the full replay. This is my, wow, 2, 4, 6. This is my 8th stream ever. I started a month ago, and I'm just going to keep doing them Mondays and Wednesdays. So if you want to catch any of the past 8 streams, you want to go to Rethink Film's YouTube page right here. They're all live. On my Dicasa Film channel, I don't post the replay. I post a little nugget, like a little 5-minute video of something that happened in the stream, so that any of my subscribers on YouTube can watch it and go, oh my God, he streams. Let me go watch that stuff. So if you're on YouTube, like Mr. Aylwood, stay tuned for the nugget or watch me live. If you're on the Twitch, every Monday, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Fallings. That's so cool. I'm doing this one person at a time, so you're coming in at the ground floor with me, building a community, building a team, one person at a time. So I really appreciate you guys being here with me. We got more people in the chat. Eric, I just started editing a few years ago at Final Cut Pro X. I recently returned to editing, but now it seems like Premiere is the thing. Is it worth the switch? If so, is there a big learning curve? You started editing with Final Cut Pro X. I don't know, Pat. Is Pat still in the Twitch chat? My buddy Pat from the Boulevard Bullies watches me over on Twitch, and he hosts it on Twitch too. Pat started editing in Final Cut Pro 7 because I was teaching him Final Cut Pro 7. And then when Final Cut Pro X came out, he made the switch over to that. And he knows a lot more about Final Cut Pro X than I do. Premiere is much, much more similar to Final Cut Pro 7. So the switch from FCP 7 to Premiere is actually not so bad. A switch from Final Cut Pro X to Premiere might be a little bit harder because it's a somewhat different system. But in my opinion, Premiere's simpler. I feel like Final Cut Pro X, they really tried to make it more simple, but it backfired and it got more difficult. I feel like I have much more control over what I want to do. The few times I've hopped into Final Cut Pro X on Pat's laptop, I couldn't really figure out what the heck I was doing. I tried to make an edit or tried to roll things that way or figure out where the stuff was in the browser. And it was just a different workflow. And to me, it's more complicated. To people who just jump into Final Cut Pro 7, it might be super easy. But for me, it was very complicated. It'd be like me learning to draw with my right hand and then all of a sudden being told I got to draw with my left hand. That being said, you should probably still make the switch to Premiere because it is a standard. I feel like Final Cut Pro X is going to die one day, and I don't think there's going to be a Final Cut Pro 11. I think maybe they'll keep updating it, but I feel like Apple just dropped up. They just made a huge mistake. They should have just made Final Cut Pro 8, and they should have just made it compete with Premiere, and they probably would be an industry standard. Fallings over on Twitch. I've been using Wondershare Filmora video editing software for about a year now. I have never heard of it, but hey, whatever you can get your hands on is really what it's about. That editing software is kind of for starters, drag and drop. Cool. So I'm trying to get some help on starting with Adobe Premiere because it's very complex to my past editing software. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And to be honest, I'm not even an expert. I'm sure there are people out there who do editing on Premiere all the time, every day. They're certified in it. I'm pretty quick with it. It's taken me a while to get quick with Premiere. I was much faster in Final Cut Pro 7. I could go really quickly and edit very quickly. But once I switched to Premiere, I was still learning where everything was. It's kind of like driving. You learn where the brake is, you learn where the gas is, and you learn how many times the wheel goes this way, and eventually you get used to it and you can do it quicker. So it's really just about learning where everything is. The theory of editing, and what I would say with editing to Eric and to Fallings is you really need to mentally in your brain know, or at least come to a decision with what you want to do. I want to do blank. I want, for instance, when I was doing the censoring, you know what I mean? For instance, here's a quick thing. Let's say I want to censor a word. I'm not going to go find a word, a curse word, but let's say I want to just censor this. So let's see, what word?
You had a job upon graduation.
So let's say graduation was a curse word, like emmer, effer.
Upon graduation.
So I know to myself, okay, I need to censor that. I need to get rid of her. Okay, so having a goal in mind and knowing that that's what you want to do is very important. I need to do this. Okay. Then once you know what you want to do, I need to do that thing, then you go ahead and do it. Editing software is about you deciding what you want to do and then figuring out the tools to get it done. Theory and why I'm doing it or why it needs to be done or will this edit work? Is this a good edit? That is harder to learn. That comes from making mistakes. That comes from watching editing. That comes from a stream like this where I can talk about theory. I can talk about why I'm doing it one way over the other. I could talk about the way your eye moves in the frame and why this is better than others. Matching a cut. There's a huge thing about matching action. So if I have a close, if in the wide shot I come over here and pick this guy up and drink it, and then I want to cut on the action to a close up, you don't actually cut right here. So if the wide shot's here, and I'm going like this, and you cut into the close-up, you actually need to back it up like 2 or 3 frames, then go into the close-up. So really it's going like this. Cut, play. Now you would never think to do that if someone didn't teach you that or tell you that. But that's the kind of stuff that you're going to get from watching me. Can you show me how to add effects? What kind of effects? What kind of effects? A color correction? Like what kind of effects do you mean? That's the other thing too, is learning all the terminology. Do you want learning like what to call things so that you know where it is in the program? Fatima or Fatima, Karami. I want to go make movie, edit. Yes, yes. I don't know edit very good. I want edit movie, sad. Okay. Well, go do it then. If you want to go do it, go do it. Share it with us when you're done. I don't know edit very good. I want to edit movie. Well, that's what I'm here for. If you just stick with me long enough, I'm streaming Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. I mean, it's not going to be overnight. It's not like I'm going to tell you one thing and you're going to get it. You're going to have to come to the stream every time I do it and just sit with me long enough. It's like you're my apprentice. You sit with me long enough and things will start to absorb. But I don't know how. Yeah, I got to start somewhere. Get your hands on an editing software. Shoot some footage on your phone and start making a movie, my friend. Okay, yes, I'm your apprentice. The fresh maker. Fallings. So I'm just trying to get some help with starting Adobe Premiere because it's very hard. Yeah, I said that before. Sorry. Can you show me how to add effects? David Katisa has subscribed on YouTube, which is great. That's awesome. You're probably not even watching the stream. You're probably watching a tutorial, which is fine. Like Luma, Sharp, Blur, Denoise. Okay. Yeah, I'll do Blur. Okay, let's do a Blur. So now, once again, you have to ask yourself and you have to just come up with a decision. What do I want to blur? No alcoholic? No, this is coffee. Is coffee okay? This is coffee. Whoops. So I'm deciding I want to blur this shot. It's this one right here. Underneath it are other shots. These are the shots underneath it. If I double click it, it appears in the source window. Stand by. I'm going to get rid of my TV screen so you can see the full thing. So this is the source window. This is, if I double click, I can see the clip that it is. This over here is my canvas window. This is what's on my timeline. This is what my edit is going to be. So if I double click on my source file here, you can see the whole clip. This is the clip I'm going to blur. Over here is my browser. Now your setup might be different, but over in my browser over here, I have all of these different tabs, and I can go to more tabs by going over here, which is very important. So to put an effect on something, I want to double click it right there, just so I know it's selected. And over here, I can go to the effects tab. This is just the way I have my things set up. So right here are my effects. So what kind of effect is it? Well, it's a video effect because I'm putting it on the video. So let's drop down the videos. And boom, there's all this stuff. You could spend hours. But look, right here, blur and sharpen. Okay, there's blur. Now we have many different blurs. And once again, you could Google each one of these and figure it out. One of the most standard blurs is a Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur is named after a mathematician named Gauss. I forget his first name. I think it's Edmund. He's a mathematician from the early 1800s, late 1700s, I believe. He's a mathematician. So what the Gaussian blur, the Gaussian blur, his name is Gauss, is that it scans the frame and it says, okay, this pixel, make it a little bit more like the pixel next to it. Do that for all of these. So so by using a certain algorithm developed by Gauss, you are blurring the image. And it does it in a very sort of uniform way. There are other blurs, camera blur, motion blur, things like that. But for just your standard sort of overall blur, Gaussian blur will work. So what you can do is you can click it, drag it, and pop it right on here. Now, you'll notice nothing really changed. And for this now, I will put the screen back on so you can see it a little bit better. Nothing really changed. Okay, so I'm going to double click it just so I know it's selected. Now, I put an effect on it. So now I need to control the effect. How do you control the effect? Well, you want to go over to the Effect Controls tab. You can also access it over here. So here's the Effects Control tab. Now you'll notice there are some stock effects you can control. Like for instance, if I click over on this clip here, a completely different clip, this does not have the Gaussian blur on it. If I double click here, you can see in the Effects Controls, these are the stock ones. I've got the position of it, which is, of course, I'm not, okay, so now why am I not seeing anything? Well, it's because the cursor of my playhead is over here. I'm not even on it. So I got to move the cursor, I got to move the playhead over to where it is. Now, if I double click it and I mess with this, you can see the position will move the clip, you know, up and down, left and right. Let me Apple Z. So Control Z or Apple Z will undo a lot of things. Now I might be undoing things that I don't want to undo. So I'm going to do Shift Control Z. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was undoing a bunch of things I didn't want to do.
So
Okay, so I probably undid a bunch of stuff. So let's start over. Go over here. Here's the shot I want to blur. Double click it just to make sure. Effects, drag the Gaussian blur over to it. And now I double click it again, go to Effects Controls. Now you can see among all of the other sort of stock effects or stock attributes that we can mess with, including opacity, blending modes, all this stuff. If I scroll down, there's the Gaussian blur. It's now been added to the clip. So now in here is where I can mess with the parameters of the blur. And you'll notice that right now it's on 0. So if I make sure that the playhead is over the clip, double clicking on it just to make sure I know I'm selected on it, come over to the Effect Controls. I can click and drag this, or I can click on it once and type in a number. But for dramatic effect, I'm going to click on it, and pull it left or right. Actually, you can just go to the right. You can't go negative blur. But as I pull it, you can see it's blurring. I can really blur it out. Now, as you see, the more I blur it, look how blurred it is. It's so blurred that you're seeing through it to the clip underneath. That's how blurry it can get. So if let's say I blur it 25, there it is. Now if I play the clip.
guessing what happened.
Yeah.
So we get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget? Like,
Long shot.
Yeah.
Super blurry. Yeah. And then I can go in, click it. And now, that's clean. What do you mean? Is that slang for cool? I don't know what you mean by that's clean. Now, something else you could do, I'm also going to zoom in a bit so we can see this clip a little bit better. Now, let's say I want to animate the blur. Let's say I want to make the blur, let's say I want it to be not blurry and then get blurry. So what I'll do is, first thing I'll do is, I want it to be not blurry and then get blurry. So once again, ask yourself what you want to do. I want it to be not blurry and then I want it to get blurry. Put that in your brain. I want it to be not blurry, then I want it to get blurry. Okay, cool. That's my goal. So you always start with like the thing you want to do, the goal. So I'm just going to pretend like we're starting from scratch. We just dropped the Gaussian blur on. Here it is. Now, what we need to do is we need to put the cursor, the playhead, this little blue thing, at the beginning of the clip. You can hit the up arrow to go to the beginning of the clip. And you can hit the down arrow to go to the next clip, except it needs to be selected on the track. So this is on track 3. So now if I hit the up arrow, it should go to the end of the track there. Up arrow goes here, down arrow there. So if I'm in the middle, if I hit the up arrow, it goes to the beginning of the clip. If I hit the down arrow, it goes to the end of the clip. So long as the track is selected. So I'm gonna hit the up arrow. Double click. Now, what we can do if we want to animate it is, the question is, okay, when do I want the blurriness to start? So I know I want it to be not blurry, then I want it to get blurry. So I'm going to watch the clip, and I'm going to say to myself, now's when I want the blur to start coming in. So here we go.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey.
Right there. We get back to my place and like, right there at like is when I want the blur to start happening. So.
Back to my place and I'm like.
Right there. So I'll pause it right there. I'm going to double click on the clip because I always do that. Now, the blurriness attribute is the thing we're going to be changing. It's the only thing we're going to be changing. Right here next to the blurriness is a little stopwatch looking thing. It's called toggle animation. So at this frame, right where I have the cursor, the playhead stopped, at this time, at this point, this frame, I'm going to click that. And you'll see right here, it added a little dot. That is a keyframe. So it's telling me, okay, all right, boom, that's a little keyframe. What do you want to happen? Just right there, that's when an animation it will happen. I haven't told it to do anything, but that's when it's going to happen. Now, the question becomes, how much more time must go by before it reaches full blurriness? So let's watch it again. Now I'm going to hit the play button, and I'm going to think to myself, it's getting blurrier, getting blurrier, getting blurrier, full blur right there. So here we go.
Hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick?
Right there. Right as she says lady. That's when I want it to be full blur. So let's do it again.
Hey, do you mind if I just email this lady?
Right there. Email this lady. Right there is where I want it to be at full blur. So I'm going to put another keyframe. So you want to click this. I want to add a keyframe. Boom. There. Notice I didn't touch the blurriness attribute yet. I didn't touch the blurriness attribute yet. So for this keyframe here, the blurriness is at 0. I'm using the right arrow key to go frame by frame. And you'll see, as I get it, I know I'm on that keyframe when this thing right here lights up blue. Now I know I'm on that keyframe. So the blurriness right here is 0. And then as I go, still 0. Nothing's changing. Now look, once I get here, now it's blue again. Now here's where I want to be full blur. What is full blur? I don't know. Let's see. Where's full blur? Let's mess with it. Maybe that's full blur right there. That's full blur. Happens to be 82. Now, watch this. If I go here, now as I advance the frame, you can see, look at the blurriness changing. I didn't do this frame by frame. I just set the keyframes. And as it's going, it's basically going from keyframe 1 to keyframe 2, 0 to 88 or 82, and it's just doing that. So let's hit play.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget? Like,
Long shot.
Yeah.
And there's your animation. Now you might notice with a blur specifically, at full blur, you might be able to notice in the corners here, right here, you can kind of start to see through to the clip underneath. So what's happening is the way the algorithm works, it starts to blur and it starts to kind of make a cone shape. So the outer edges become transparent. That's just sort of the way that blur works. But you can fix that by coming over here and doing repeat edge pitches. So it'll tell the algorithm just repeat the thing towards the edges instead of like coning it in. So let's click that, and now it's gone. And let's watch the animation one more time.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget? Like,
Long shot.
So there you go. That's if you want to do an animation. And that technique really works with any animation you want to do. I'm going to Apple Z, undo, 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 undo. And then if I hit undo one more time, the Gaussian blur should disappear. Undo. Nope. Undo. Go away. Undo. Undo. There. Okay. It's gone. So now I know I'm like kind of reset.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind?
So we can do another animation. Let's do an animation with just like the scale, right? So once again, I'm hitting the up key so I know I'm at the beginning of the frame. And when do I want it to I want it to start shrinking. So when do I want it to start shrinking? How about
We get back to my place and
right there? I want it to start shrinking there. So I'm going to put an animation keyframe for not position. Yes, I want to delete that for scale. And I want it to shrink.
I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just
I want it to shrink rather quickly. So it's like, this goes here. And I'm only going to go like maybe, I don't know. Let's actually do it really precise. I want it to shrink in exactly 1 second. So what I can do is, if you have a number pad, I can hit the plus sign. Now, what I'm doing is make sure that the clip is not selected. Make sure that you're just on. You got to make sure it's not selected. So hang on, let me get. I'm making sure that this is right here. I want to deselect that, because if I hit plus 15, yeah, it's gonna move the whole clip. Sorry, double click that. I'm on the effects controls there. Maybe if I click here, plus. No, that didn't work. So I just want to make sure I am not selected on the clip, because I don't want to move the clip. But if I want to have the animation be 1 second long precisely, I can hit plus 100. That's 1 second. It's basically 1 second and 0 frames. 100. Hit enter. And now I know the cursor has just moved exactly 1 second. Don't move the cursor at all. Come back, do another keyframe. So I know that is precisely a 1 second gap between those keyframes. And then while I'm on this keyframe, notice that it's blue, so I know I'm on that keyframe. I can, put it to there. Let's say there. And let's check out that animation.
we get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget?
So that's a little animation you can do like that.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind?
Now let me show you another cool little trick with animations. You'll notice that it kind of just goes and stops. It just goes boo, boo. You know what I mean? It's just like it's very kind of robotic. It just kind of goes, gang, gang. It's very stiff. So there is something you can do with animation to sort of, you kind of, I'll show it to you. You'll see it. But like, instead of just starting, stopping, it'll ease into the move and it'll ease out of the move. It'll kind of like, whoa, kind of like, it's a little bit more smooth because it kind of does like a little bit of a speed ramp. So the way to do that is place it on the keyframe. You want to make sure you're on the keyframe, or maybe you don't have to, but you want to right click on the keyframe itself. And it's right here, ease in, ease out. Now, the thing is that this can get a little confusing. So I want to ease in. You want to ease into the move. No, you want to ease out because it's leaving. So on the first keyframe, it's leaving. So you want to ease out. And then on the second keyframe, you want to ease into it because it's coming to a stop. It's coming in. You're leaving and you're coming in. So check out the animation now. There's definitely a difference.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just...
Of course, it skipped, so let's do it again.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just...
It's a very subtle difference.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just...
It's kind of hard to tell, but it's there. It might work better if it was a little bit longer of an animation. And what we could do is we could take this keyframe and drag it more. So now the animation is going to be slower.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget?
You see how it kind of and then it reaches full speed and then it kind of slows down. It kind of it like slowly accelerates and then it slowly comes to a pause. Might be more noticeable if I don't make it shrink so much. So if I okay, whatever. See, I made 2 keyframes by accident, so let me delete this keyframe. Cut. That's weird. It's like in the middle. Okay, boom. And now, if I make it not so small, let's make it like there. You might be able to notice the ease in, ease out.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady?
Stop skipping.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget?
You see the difference now. If I take these off, can I unease out? Hang on. I don't know how to take off that, to be honest. Clear. Oh, balls. That's a good one. See, that's where I've reached my my limit. I can't undo, can I? Yeah, I don't know how to revert a keyframe that's been eased to one that hasn't. Maybe if I do linear. Yeah, maybe that's it. So it's linear now. So let's see if that did it.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before?
Oh, but it also reverted because I don't want it to be as small again. So I undid that by accident. So here's linear.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget?
You see how it just starts, stops. Ease out. Ease in.
We get back to my place and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just email this lady really quick before I forget? Like,
pretty cool. I don't know. I can't really learn from watching a stream. I'ma just get one-on-one teaching. I'm available for that. Let's do it. Shoot me an email. I'ma probably come to the Monday stream. Also, like, you can tell me to stop talking about stuff that's like not relevant to you. I'm definitely happy to do a one-on-one sesh if you'd like, my man. Or my woman. I don't know what you are. Naganta says, I see that you know very well first. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, anyway, yeah, that was just a little sabbatical, little sidebar of talking about animations and stuff. The cool thing is, Fallings, is if, like, as you're learning, if you have any, like, really specific questions, and if it's a stream day, come on into the stream. I'll be right here to help out. We're getting close to 9. So, and I wanted to be getting to the end of this stream, getting to the end of this edit. But, you know, that's okay.
Mother and
Yeah.
so,
Wow.
long story, not so short, sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
She connected me with a wonderful woman named Allison O'Brien, who at the time was a producer at CNBC. Wow. So I went in for an interview with them and I got an internship, worked my butt off for a year unpaid while I was still in school, and they hired me when I graduated.
As a PA?
Yes, as
so
a PA.
cool. Wow.
And this was during the recession, studying journalism. Journalism 101 was literally our professors being like, get out! The industry's tanking! We're all getting fired! No one's getting paid! Like,
man.
you're idiots! And it was a depressing time. At the time, I was the only one of my friends who had a job upon graduation in the field that I actually wanted to go into.
Wow.
It was so rare at the time.
Wow.
And it's just like, that's the way it is now.
Let me ask you this. During that period of unpaid internship, what do you think was it about specifically you?
Yeah, so once again, I remember where we were at. We were right here. So originally when I did this edit, I muted this right here because Rita and I were kind of talking over each other, and I wanted to single my voice out because I was about to start a new thing. But then it sounded weird to just cut right back. So I think what I'm going to do is, luckily, I'm smart, and I knew that, like, I wasn't sure if this was going to be permanent. So I am going to re-enable all this, number one, and I'm going to listen to what this sounds like.
Time.
Wow.
And it's just like, that's the way it is now.
Let me ask you this. During that period of unpaid...
Yeah, because I think both Cody and Rita say something right here that I wanted to get rid of.
It is now.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
During that period of
I think I could just mute Cody a little bit. That's all. Just going to bring him down slightly. Just doing it kind of manually here.
It is now.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
During that period of
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I kind of went a little ham before. So what I just did there was just P for the pen tool. I clicked some points on the audio. What is this called? This is the audio keyframes. So I just made some things, and sort of the same thing as the animation, except you're looking at it on the clip itself.
It is now.
Let me ask you this. During that period of unpaid...
Yeah, Fallings, please come to the Monday stream, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, and let me know how you're doing. It's like awesome. Like, good luck with starting Premiere. Yeah, you know, whenever you want to come hang out. Probably Monday, or probably now looking more like Wednesday, I'll be starting a whole new project, the next episode of this. So that'll be cool, because then you can see like starting from scratch. So if not Monday, then Wednesday I'll be like starting from scratch, and you can see like how I set everything up and like what to do and best practices for that.
During that period of unpaid internship, what do you think was it about specifically you and how you were on set? Internship. What do you...
There's like a weird audio thing here, so I'm gonna put like a slight cross dissolve here. Let's do 3 frames. And instead of doing it 3 times in a... Oh, come on, I just want to copy. All right, Control C, click there. Control V, click there. Control V. Let's see how that sounds. It's a little weird.
Paid internship. What do you think was it about specifically you and how you were on set and just your attitude that unlocked that paid job? What did you do? How did you get them to like you? Like, did they like?
Oh my God, I don't even.
So yeah, this is the same. This is going into what I was doing before. So this is just a remnant of the thing that I just fixed. So what I can do is I can delete this keyframe. I might as well delete this one too, and then I can delete this keyframe, and I might as well delete that one too, just to like make a clean slate.
Paid job. What did you do? How did you get them to like you? Like, did they like?
Oh my God, I don't even know, to be honest.
Okay, so also the levels down here are strange. So I think the way, and look, you can also see right here that this one doesn't have the compressor on it. So, and it looks like, does the next one not either? And the next one? Huh. Okay, so yeah, we're running into like a definite strange thing. So look, see right here, this effects box right here is like purple. That means it has an effect on. These 3 look like it doesn't, and Cody's up here as well. So I'm just going to double check. So normally on this one here, let's click this one, and let's look at effects controls. Yeah, so in the effects controls of this audio, I can see that the volume is 0 dB, channel volume 0 dB, 0 dB, and yeah, it just has it has a compressor on it. Now what if I click this one? Same thing, it looks like. That's strange. Well, then why is it on or off? That's very strange to me. What about volume? Okay, I see that is not good. So let's just change that to 0 dB. What about this? Same. Okay, so what about now?
Paid job. What did you do? How did you get them to like you? Like, did they like?
Oh my God, I don't even know, to be honest, because at this point, I wasn't working on set.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is going on here. Very strange. I don't know why this green FX box is not lit up anymore, but it sounds okay to me. Let me see if I edit this. Compressor on. Looks fine to me. Huh.
Like, well, did they like?
Oh my God, I don't even know, to be honest, because at this point, I wasn't working on set. This was more of an office production
job.
That
was the office thing you were saying.
This is when I found out that I struggled working at a desk. So they
sounds okay now.
You know, I worked hard, but I wasn't good at it, and I only worked there for a year. And I had a good attitude, and I worked hard, and I showed up. It was at the time I lived in Brooklyn, and this was in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
It was a 2-hour commute each way. You just put in the time, and you don't bitch.
Sounds
and
the same. Sounds
you
good.
Just be dependable. You
That's
really
it.
Put in the time, don't bitch,
be dependable. That's how you pay your dues, I swear to God. And like, I know people talk about paying your dues a lot, but it's real. You have to do it. You know your worth and don't do it for longer than you have to. But there is a good amount of hazing that goes into this industry. I mean, hazing is not the right term, but you're gonna have to do some unpaid jobs at first.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to work for free, but don't have it take up all your time to where you can't also make money on the side, because you have to pay your rent.
You worked for The Office for a while.
Yeah,
Then-
CNBC, and then I worked at Viacom for another year after that.
Oh, cool.
And then when I left Viacom, that's when I started working on set.
Now, because we're running out of time here, can
Yeah.
you somehow tell us that story? How you
Yes.
transitioned from
Yes.
office to set?
I reached out to someone I know who passed my name off to his production coordinator, and she hired me as a set PA.
Cool.
And she was like, yeah, can you drive a 15-pass van? And I was like, yes.
Nice. So driver's license might help out too.
If you want to start working in film, make sure you have an up-to-date driver's license. If someone asks you if you can drive a 15-pass van, say yes. I know you haven't done it before, but you'll figure it out. If they ask you to drive a truck, maybe let them know that you've never done that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a 15 pass
Yeah.
van's okay.
You can do it,
Just
I
a big car.
promise.
Yeah.
If you don't drive as a PA, it's really hard to get hired.
Wow.
So functionally, just be prepared to drive. And it was literally just going to the grocery store and getting crafty.
Crafty would be
Yeah.
craft services.
Craft services, the
The
thing
food.
that keeps the crew going throughout the day, the treats.
Yeah.
The treats, because we can't leave for food. So she hired me as a set PA on a commercial, and on that very first commercial, I met the first AD, didn't know what an AD was, all of that was new to me, and we just got really lucky because he became my biggest mentor in the industry. And I joke about this. I joke that he likes to talk and I like to absorb. So really, it was just a lot of being near him, learning from him, making myself available to help him on set, and he started specifically requesting me
So cool.
as a PA on commercials.
What were those three things again? It was like, put in the time, show up, and don't talk so
complain.
much.
Honestly, that's fair. Don't talk so much. If you're new on set, again, take that as an opportunity to like read the room and listen, absorb, pay attention. But just know that if you're the new person, and this sounds rude, but just like, shh. I know it's a creative process, but a lot of people are like working on it and trying to solve a problem, and you're kind of just there to learn.
Have you ever seen any PA that can't shush?
Yes.
And
yeah.
it's like
yep. And it's
the
really,
director.
and it's
The director
really
might
bad.
be like,
it's really
What if we
bad.
go over here and do this thing? And the PA is like, what about this?
No. Yeah. It's,
Know that too. That's a thing.
Just sometimes don't talk. Most of the time, don't talk. Like unless you are the head of your department. Like,
Do you have a story about that?
oh my God, dude. The last job that I was on, I had just gotten literally 30 actors through really elaborate hair, makeup, wardrobe that took hours to get all these people done. And we were lining them up for client approval. We have everyone in the lineup, everyone's in the room, finally we're doing it, we're getting it done. The director is explaining his vision, and one of the background extras, not even a principal actor, a background extra pipes up about his outfit that he's wearing, and I almost had a heart attack. I was like
Like a critique? Like, I don't really like it. It pinches a little bit.
I don't even remember what he said, but it's like, again, you need to read the room, and no offense, but this was a young man who probably has been told his whole life that his opinion is very important, and I'm sure it is, but in that situation, it's not.
But use a background. So was this person even dressed in the elaborate stuff? This is
No, his was like the most simple look.
This isn't one of the 30 main dudes.
It was so bad, and like I couldn't say anything in the
dudettes.
moment because all of the clients are there and all the directors are there. But afterwards, I was like, hey, in that situation, like just please, like it's not your job.
Come to me.
It's not your job. It's not your job. This is the time for the director, for the stylist. So many people whose jobs this is and whose reputation is on the line here. Let them speak for the work.
Valuable. I think this whole thing has been valuable. Is there any last things you want to say?
Thanks.
You were saying before, talking about like mentor.
Yeah.
and like how important it was for you to have that, and how
Yeah.
that's like pretty ideal if you can. What's more informal though, or is this more like this person like agreed to be your mentor, or just kind of became your mentor by sharing things with you?
It just happened.
Okay.
I don't know. It's skipping a lot. You know, the computer's thinking. So, oh, there it's saving now. So maybe it'll stop skipping now.
What's more informal though, or is this more like this person like agreed to be your mentor, or just kind of became your mentor by sharing things with you?
It just happened
Okay.
because he was sharing things with me, and also because you always need trusted members of your team to move up, right? So his second AD, who he knew and had worked with for years and years and years and years, was now firsting.
Cool.
So he knew he needed another reliable person on the team. And so when I was around and working hard and not like acting like an idiot, he noticed me and was like, okay,
This one.
keep PAing for me, and we're gonna teach you stuff, and we're gonna
Cool.
bring you up in the department. So it's
So that was like conscious choice.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, I see what I did here. I wanted Cody his voice to come out on top.
We're gonna teach you stuff, and we're gonna
Cool.
bring you up in the department. So it's
So that was like conscious choice that he
Yeah,
made and
definitely.
told you what he was
Because
gonna do. Or-
I don't remember ever talking about it with him, but at a certain point, he was like, "It's like, okay, you're on the team now,
Yeah.
so we need to start training you so that you can second AD for me, you can second AD for my former second, who now firsts. You know, it's ideally people are moving up, and that's when the new people get to rise up and be a part of that department. And it happens for every department. Camera department, you get mentored within that world to come up, you know, to be a camera PA, to be an AC. Art department world, you start as an art PA, you move up in that world. So I would say that mentorship is probably the single most important part of set life, because until you have specific insight into that department, it's like a mystery. You know,
Yeah.
each department is like its
Yeah.
own little world. You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, everything you've said has been pure gold. I
Yeah.
think this has
Seriously.
been great. This has been so knowledgeable. I think everyone out there
good.
is
I was
gonna-
nervous. This is weird for us. Like, we spend the majority of our time trying to stay out of the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so it's weird to be on camera
It's
with you
weird.
guys.
Thank you so much for being here. This has been so awesome. I think there's definitely stuff that people out there will latch onto and really be inspired by.
Thank
and I
you.
think there are people out there who didn't know what an AD is, who now know, and that maybe that's what's for them.
We can run your set. Hire us. Bring us in. We get it done on time and with a smile. Mentor more women too.
There you go. There you go.
That's the other thing. You know, the mentor that I had on set is a man. I've had several male mentors, and like, it's just important for people to start mentoring people who are not exactly like them.
I agree.
Definitely.
I
Yeah,
agree.
we need more diversity on set.
Totally,
always.
totally.
Yeah.
Well, once again, this has been so awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and happy filmmaking. Peace.
Well, we made it. Pretty sure that's good. I mean, the only thing I might want to do is go back and just check to see how many, if any, curses happen before that first one. Looks like it's right here.
Where I know that I up. Even so, I really
I don't think so, but I can go back and check. But I guess the last thing we'll do on the stream, like, is export it. Now, what I'll probably end up doing is just render this out as one file. And then at some point in the future, once I have maybe a few Tell Us Damnit episodes, like, you know, edited, and I start to think of a release plan for them, I might do a little outro there, probably filmed in front of a camera, addressing the camera. Just saying, like, you know, thanks for watching, you know, these were filmed a while ago, blah, 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 but, you know, and plug the stream, you know, I've been editing them on the stream, come check it out, you can see how I stream them. So that'll probably be like a thing that I'll do. But I might want to just wait a little while in case, like, you know, something changes, you know, until I'm ready, until I know when I'm going to release them. That's when I'll do the thing. But until then, it would be just easier to render this all out as just one merged timeline. That way I can, like, start to clear up the hard drive that all this data is on. It's all just there in this one file. So that being said, let's just do I don't know if I'll actually hit the render button, but I'll set it up as if I'm going to. So here's a little export tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is if you have a home key on your keyboard, hit the home key. That brings you right to the beginning. That's your in point. You have an end key, which is usually right underneath the home button. End key, that goes right to the end. And what I also do is I go to the end and then I hit the arrow key backwards, one frame, boop. So it ends on the frame, because sometimes when you export, it actually exports that one frame of black at the end, which really annoys me. So I'll put the O there for output. I for the input, O for the output. So that is the frames that the video will start and stop at. Then we go up to File, Export, Media. Offline material is present in this export and will be encoded using the offline media graphic. There shouldn't be, because it should be covered. It's in the timeline. So I appreciate you, Premiere, that you've noticed that there is some offline media in the timeline. But I'm not going to go and check because I know I just watched it. Those offline media files that are in the timeline are actually hidden. They're underneath actual media. So I'm going to ignore this. That's okay. So it's going to bring up our little export window here. So there's a lot to talk about here. We could do so many different things, but I am going to do H.264, which will spit it out as an MP4. I am going to do high bitrate. I like to just start at the top and go down. This right here, output name, I want to change the name and change where I'm going to put it to. So I have to click this, and I'm going to put it in this hard drive here, Us Damnit, exports. And I'm going to change the name to something that I'll know what it is. So it's going to be TUD, Us Damnit, underscore, let's do episode 2 underscore Rita. And then I'm going to do dash, all caps, no underscore outro. Us Damnit, episode 2, Rita dash, no outro. Why do I do underscores? Sometimes, depending on situations, computers don't like there being a space. It'll put a %20 because that's like the computer code for a space is %20 for some reason. So I usually try not to put any spaces in file names. So whenever there's a underscore, that just means a space. Us Damnit, space, episode 2, space, Rita, dash, because I don't want, if I had spaces, I wouldn't put a space there. I'd put a dash. No outro. So let's save it there. And then it's in this panel here. I don't know if I can make this bigger. It's this panel here that really has everything you need to worry about. There's a lot of stuff, but the biggest thing that you can deal with is the bitrate settings. Bitrate settings is what controls the file size. You can see down here the estimated file size is 2,800 megabytes, 2.8 gigs, which actually for a 37-minute video is not so bad. Then there's 1 pass and 2 pass. Now, I don't think I need to do 2 passes. Basically, pass means it analyzes every frame once. And then if you wanted to analyze it again, you do twice. Why would you want to do a 2 pass? There's a lot of motion in the video. That's harder to compress. I won't get into why. But there's very little motion. The cameras are all on sticks. They're all on tripods. So most of the frame is static. The only thing that's moving are people within it. If the whole camera was handheld moving, then it might be beneficial to do 2 pass so that it can really analyze each frame and get a better looking compression. But 1 pass should be fine. 10 megabits per second is probably good. 10's good. You're not going to notice much of a difference, but I could go up to 15. And notice we're almost now double. Now the cool thing is that my particular YouTube channel, I can put up files probably up to 100 gigs. So this is fine. So you know what? Let's try to make it 4 gigs exactly. So let's do 12.5. Let's do 13. That's fine. Usually, this is just estimated. Usually it comes out a little over. Sometimes it comes out a little under. Let's do 13.5. That's fine. That's around 4 gigs. So that's probably good. And you know what? I think I will do it. Oh, and I don't want to do 2 pass. I want to do 1 pass. So I might have accidentally do it. What's the difference between VBR and CBR? It stands for bitrate. Constant bitrate or variable bitrate. So when you do a variable bitrate, It's analyzing, frame by frame and adjusting the bit rate to, depending on how much movement or depending on what's going on in the frame. That's usually a little bit better. It can give you a little bit better of a thing. Constant bit rate is like always going to be this. And if nothing's moving, then like you might end up with a higher file size. You might end up with a smaller file size. It depends. But I like doing VBR. It's also my fiance's initials. Variable rate, it adjusts depending on what you're doing. And I don't know, 4 gigabytes sounds about good. And then you can check out everything right here. Output, that's where it's going. That looks good. Here's this size, 1920 by 1080. Great. That's the frame rate. Looks good. Progressive. I won't get into that. Hardware encoding just means it's using hardware, my GPU, my graphics card, to render it. VBR, 1 pass. Target, 13.5 megabits. AAC audio, 320 kilobits per second. 400 kilohertz stereo. I don't really know much about audio, but I know that's fine. And yeah, looks good. Yeah, so that's it. And I think I will just set it to go, baby. I have maximum render setting on, so there's probably more, but that's about it. So I'm going to hit export. Boom. It's thinking about it. Don't crash. So it's doing the audio first. So just to do the audio, 8 minutes. So this will be here a while. Probably take an hour. So I'll take an hour break before I do the nuggets. But all right, that's the stream for today. We went a little, I don't know, perfect timing. 8:58, almost exactly 3 hours. It's been a really awesome stream. Definitely some people in chat. Got a Twitch follower. Falling, shout out to you. Thanks for coming in. Please come back whenever you can. And good luck learning Adobe Premiere. If you ever need anything, if you ever need a question or anything, if I'm streaming, please do it. You could also find my email address on the websites and stuff like that. Shout out to Mr. Aylwood, Fatema, Karami, Naganta from Colombia. Martin coming in. You're awesome. Love seeing you. Thanks for coming in. And Cody, my business partner, coming into the chat with the clutch Wilhelm censored scream. Love that. Okay, well, that's it for now. I guess either Monday or Wednesday or whatever, we'll start doing the next episode unless something else comes up that I want to do. Maybe we actually, you know what? We might end up doing music video stuff, but I feel like that might be more Wednesday. So we'll figure it out. But until then, I really want to end it like right on the dot 3 hours. So I have 45 seconds. So definitely if you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing. Consider being a member. If you look below, there's a button called Join. It's kind of like Patreon. It's kind of like subscribing on Twitch. Check it out. Think about being a member. There's some cool perks in there. Definitely subscribe. If you're watching or have been watching on Twitch, do a follow there. You can only do follows there because we're still growing it. Shout out to Pat Boulevard Bullies for hosting and always being the best. Thanks for hosting. And I got 10 seconds left. Follow on all the socials, follow everywhere, do all that stuff, and I'll see you on the next stream. Happy filmmaking. Peace.